A carpentry instructor at the North Baldwin Center for Technology has just been awarded a $100,000 gift card to Harbor Freights and Tools. Scott Larson applied for the company's Tools for Schools prize and won. WKRG News caught up with Larson after such an incredible bonus to his class.
Basically just, teaching them how to use tools, how to build stuff. If we need tools, we can purchase them. If we, need materials, we don't have to scrounge around for money.
I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hello, this is Sky Mosley for the Alabama Gazette, your hometown conservative newspaper. The Alabama Gazette, always published under the banner of God, family, and country. They share your principles, your values, and the Alabama Gazette has the courage to defend those convictions in print. The Gazette celebrates their 24th anniversary, October 26th. There will be a big to-do downtown at their beautiful offices. The public is invited, food and fun for the entire family. Meanwhile, please consider advertising with the Alabama Gazette. They are most worthy of your support. Give them a call, 356-6700. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. That's the Alabama Gazette. 356-6700. Remember, advertising space is limited for that big 24th anniversary issue, so give them a call right now, 356-6700. The Alabama Gazette, informative, honest, trustworthy, your conservative alternative. That's the Alabama Gazette, 356-6700.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your fall market report on real estate in the River Region. From January through September of 2023, close to 3,600 homes have sold and closed in our area through area realtors. Our average sales price is approximately $250,000, which makes us one of the most affordable areas in the state to buy a house. So far this year, sellers that listed with an area realtor were blessed with a sales price that was 98% of the listed price or possibly above listed price. Because we have had a severe shortage of houses on the market, the buyers have had to look a little longer to find a home that satisfied their needs. Even with higher rates, local mortgage lenders have found ways for buyers to buy down rates on their mortgages and making the transition from tenants to home ownership possible. For all the details, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
I got worms.
I got hairy legs.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Proof of the pudding's in the eating.
How dare you?
I like to do it at night when people aren't around.
This afternoon, we've seen a whole lot of table banging.
If you get a cough, please leave the room.
What in the world is this?
There are those that think I'm a very stable genius.
Fat broads and...
Shut up, silly woman!
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and we've got a full studio, well, almost full. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Isn't that a Meatloaf song?
I believe you're right.
But
something like that.
In the studio, we've got Eddie Bader.
How you doing, bud?
And Sky Mosley.
Rock and roll.
And good to see you, gentlemen. And let's kick off the show today by saying, well, they've decided on when and where the people can vote finally here in the great state of Alabama when it comes to the 2024 congressional races.
Oh,
The news was just released today. A panel of 3 federal judges chose remedial map 3. I know all of y'all know what that means, but I just say remedial map 3 for Alabama to use in its upcoming congressional elections in 2024. The plan has a black voting age population of 48.7% in Congressional District 2 and 51.9% in Congressional District 7. A performance analysis by the court-appointed special master said that Democrats won 16 of the 17 previous elections in Congressional District 2 and 17 of 17 previous elections in Congressional District 7. State Senate Minority Leader Bobby Singleton told 1819 News last week he was considering challenging the incumbent U.S. Representative Terry Sewell from Birmingham in Congressional District 7. So this should be fascinating to see. So here is the map. I might as well go and share this on the stream. But if y'all can see there on the screen, Eddie and Sky, find Montgomery County.
Yeah.
There it is. How many congressional districts are going to be within our listening range?
Oh, we loaded up.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it really did. Like, we reached the Tallapoosa a little bit too, I think.
Yep.
So I think we have 4 different congressional districts within this listening radius.
This will be good for business.
Yeah, it's a little nuts, honest.
Well, I don't know if you know, but with the live stream, we reached the whole entire world, Joey.
Well, I know. We've gone international now.
We really have.
There are a lot of folks, especially in that where you grew up, they're a little upset about that.
Is that right?
Yeah, I feel them clicking at my heels.
Yeah.
Those crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, they'll try to pull you down.
You better not rise too much, son.
Be careful. They'll try to pull you down.
But I have the map pulled up on the live stream, folks. Joey Clark Live on YouTube, or you can watch on Facebook and Twitter on my accounts. But Remedial Plan 3. And I think this is going to lead to a lot of opportunity for the Democrats, but it's not necessarily a slam dunk.
Okay.
Because if you've got only a margin of, say, the higher one, 51, almost 52%, do all 52% of black Alabamians show up to go vote? That's a good question.
And will they vote Democrat?
Well,
that's another good question.
That's a good question. Now, the idea is, yes, actually, turnout numbers can be pretty good for the African-American population here. And, yes, by a large magnitude, they vote Democrat. So we'll see. I think this Congressional District 2, which will be here right in Montgomery, that will be the one to watch because that's the new one. And there's rumors Stephen Reed will run, the mayor of this dear city of ours. He's got a new book coming out.
Is that right?
Yeah, I got a message from a publicist, a national publicist.
Oh, national.
Now I'm like, thanks for the form letter, lady.
She probably saw the live stream.
She's like, I don't know if you know Stephen Reed, but I think you're a good fit to interview him about his new book on leadership. It's approved by Raphael Warnock, the famous senator from Georgia.
Oh, yeah, don't I?
And I'm like, I was tempted. I just ignored it. I was tempted to send her back. Here's these op-eds from the last few months. Go ahead. I know Stephen.
We could have sent her some photos of you and Stephen here actually in the radio studio together.
Right. And, again, congratulations on your mayoral victory, kind sir. But now that these lines are drawn, you got to wonder who's going to hop in. Yesterday, of course, we heard on these airwaves from former state senator Dick Brubaker.
That is exactly right.
And I know for a fact he's the guy that a lot of folks have wanted to run for all sorts of positions. Governor, his name is floated up there. It's because, number one, very smart guy. Number two, I think he reaches across divides. And I'm not talking about Republican, Democrat necessarily.
Well, he cuts through the BS.
Yeah, he is respected, let's just say. When you have 90-something% name ID, that's pretty strong. Think about what happened in the mayoral race. Barrett Gilbreth, we liked him very much, but Barrett was largely an unknown to the general public. And so that way he was easy to paint however Stephen Reed and their folks wanted to paint him.
Right.
It's not as easy to do that with Dick Brubaker, by any means.
Well, he's got a little experience, got a resume.
Right.
Name recognition.
And I'm wondering if other names are going to be thrown in there. I got a text, I'm not going to mention who. Somebody's saying, run for county commission? I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Joey Clark for county commission? No. Why do y'all keep... Did I do something to hurt you?
I think you should run.
Why are you trying to punish me?
I can immediately start my blackmail campaign and start getting paid.
He's going to be
I need you to run immediately.
Hey, this is mutually assured destruction, big boy. I know a lot about you, too, all right?
We're going down together.
Talk about crabs in a bucket. Maybe we could run like a co-campaign.
Yeah?
Where it's like, elect Eddie and Joey as your congressmen.
At least we're honest.
Like Sky could join us. We could be a three-headed monster, like 3 co-counsels.
It'd be pretty good because I don't feel like working a full schedule.
Right,
So I think
right.
it would be best if we could rotate out.
I call Fridays.
Yeah, you're working Fridays. I got that. I appreciate that.
Or I'll do the night shift. How about that?
Even better.
Run it that way.
Well, and I'm said I will run for Congress maybe, but the slogan's going to be for sex, money, and power. In that order.
An honest man.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, at least he's honest.
It is. It's honesty. Look at like the women in Congress. They're out of control. Like Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor, they're out of control, and I like it. So I might go for Congress just for the social.
For the wild women?
Yeah, the social scene.
I see.
I can see it now.
But
eventually, the race for congressional district, Joey versus Mayor Stephen.
Oh, I would lose. I would lose.
No, this is years in the future.
No, I don't see that in the cards.
I'm calling it right now.
I kind of like being the outsider. Like, seriously, as soon as you run for Congress and you're beholden to the voters, it's like, oh. You wonder, folks, why the politicians are so miserable, why they talk out of both sides of their mouths so often. Yeah. It's like, you try serving you. It's worse than being married. The general public doesn't make any sense. It's always that time of a month when it comes to serving the people.
Well, you said they're beholden to the people. When's the last time a good politician or any politician has been beholden to me? Done anything by me?
What about Donald Trump?
See what happened to him?
Yeah, that's true. And, in the midst of all this speaker fight, moving on from this congressional map, but it is out now, folks. That's the big breaking news. And I'm sure very soon we'll start to see folks officially throw their name into the hat. And, I'm excited. We're actually going to have a really competitive general election in this. It's nice to have a sure thing, but I think it's better when competition is actually at play, when power checks power. That's when liberty tends to breathe. At least that's what I tell myself.
I can't wait because we can bring back the Phil Fulbright commercials again. That's why I love campaigning.
I mean, we could bring back the Gil Fulbright right now if you want.
Yeah, I'm down. I love them.
Well, I don't know. Will Greg get mad at me if I do this?
As long as you give him some credit.
Well, I'll have to find it.
Okay.
Because it's not immediately coming to mind, but it's accurate.
Very accurate.
And what I find hilarious is, I wonder, is this... Here, let's check to see if this is it. Risky click of the day. Stealing another thing from Greg here. Let's see if this is it.
This is an institutional ad.
It's not.
Institutional ad featuring lots of different people
from different walks of life,
or maybe different ethnic groups. It could be an advocacy ad for a political cause,
or a company trying to rebuild its tarnished image,
like those strings in the background,
like BP
or GM,
or maybe a politician trying to rebuild his reputation after an affair, or lying about his military service.
It's supposed to fool you into believing no matter what the cause,
that we're all in this together.
Together.
But really, it's probably just a load of BS.
Paid for by a front group
or by union dues taken from its members regardless of their political affiliation.
Even more
or a
accurate.
nonprofit with an acronym that spells something like
CARE or HOPE.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's going to be fun seeing us actually ramp up with real competition. But, speaking of Trump, with this whole speaker fight, like with McCarthy being kicked out, it kind of was pushed down in the news. And before I say what was pushed down, I think folks need to get over it's like, well, we lost our momentum. I was talking to my dad last night. He's like, I think we lost our momentum. I'm like, Dad, you're watching Fox News way too much. Way too much. I love you, man. And, hey, Granddaddy is what I said on the phone to him. It's great to see him as a grandfather now, grandfather to Lucy.
Well, grandfathers do watch some Fox News. Let me go ahead and tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Let me go ahead and tell you.
No, and I was an old man, a grandfather, so to speak, in college. Yeah. And I've now gotten over it. I've now gone younger again.
You'll come back.
And like edgy.
We'll be here for you.
Or something. But this whole idea of like, well, this is distracting us from these other issues. How many times a day do you need to hear the same dadgum thing? Joe Biden bad, inflation bad, Joe Biden bad, inflation bad, the border's insecure. Joe Biden bad, inflation bad, the border's insecure.
Crime.
And Hunter is a crackhead.
Yes.
Like every day.
Several times a day.
I have a feeling, given this news cycle is literally 24/7, we can cover a lot of ground. So the thing that was kind of pushed to the back when it happened because of the speaker fight is this gag order.
Oh, yeah.
Against Donald John Trump.
Yep.
And I got on my knees last night and I prayed to God.
Yes.
Please let Trump violate it. I don't think you got to even pray to God. God's like,
No,
what are you talking to me for about that? I
Hold your
made
breath.
him that way. He
Hold your
can't
breath, count to 10.
Like, Joey, I made Donald that
Right.
way. But I hope Trump breaks the gag order. And then the judge tries to put him in jail.
So,
Do it. Do it.
Should we take bets on
Yeah,
how long this gag order will actually stay in effect before he does break it? Because
Vegas has got to be going wild.
Right now, he's probably in his padded room, just screaming.
Yeah. Like, gag orders
Right.
are nothing but commie plots by a ridiculous judge who should never be there in the first place.
Yes.
I want to see that happen. But it is remarkable that the issue in this campaign is the weaponization of this government, in particular, law enforcement and the Justice Department and the justice system. It just so happens that these 4 cases are all lined up to be going on during 2024.
Exactly.
This is just an organic, neutral process. If you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. Is that the old school phrase?
All right.
That's the one.
They got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
That's a
Okay.
nice cliche.
Yeah. But come on. This is the big issue. The weaponization of this government. And so for a judge who we already think is weaponized to go after Trump at a particular time, right before this election, to then say you can't talk about us weaponizing this thing.
But we knew that was coming.
So I want Donald Trump, not just kind of at like a side, like he needs to be like crude about it. I think he needs to go and, well, you know, and I'm thinking about Joe Biden. He's sitting there in his office and he's thinking about Trump. Of course he's thinking about Trump if he's thinking anything at all.
That's all he does.
And you know what he says? He goes, let's indict the MFer. Trump actually said the whole word the other day. So I think Trump just needs to call the judge a mofo or something and off to the races.
Let him rip. Burn it down, baby.
Yes. Like, no, you got to press the hand because when will y'all learn that apologizing and playing nice, you are not rewarded for it? You're punished for it.
Right.
So you might as well say we're not doing this anymore. You remember, I was watching Dave Smith. I need to get him on the show. He's a great libertarian comedian.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
And he was saying last night that, think about it, with Mitt Romney in 2012, when they're saying, well, Governor Romney, we think you're sexist. And he was like, no. Like, when I was running these companies, I asked them for binders full of women. And him saying that, saying that, they're like, well, that just proves you're sexist even more. It's like, no, he's literally saying, I was trying to actively hire women. And he's still punished for that.
You can't.
So
you heard the way he said it, Joey.
Binders full of women. Well, yeah, I mean, Mitt Romney, that one video, it's like, it's National Hot Dog Day. My favorite meat is hot dogs. It's like, you are a space alien.
Pig.
Like, my goodness. Like, I think actually you get to the end of that video game, Area 51, remember in the arcades?
Yeah.
There's Mitt Romney as the big boss. My goodness. But so you go from Romney's getting hit for trying to say I was promoting what we don't believe you. Look at how you said it, to your point. Look at how he said he didn't mean it. That's just. So fast forward to 2016, and they try to do the same exact thing to Trump, and it's right out of the gate. Mr. Trump, Megyn Kelly, Mr. Trump, you've called women slobs, fat pigs. Only Rosie O'Donnell.
Very important.
Crowd goes wild. Megyn Kelly tries to rein it back in, saying something to the effect of, no, you've called other people that too. And he goes, oh, yeah, sure. Like,
what are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do?
Don't give in to these games because you're not rewarded, even if you try to signal the virtue that they're demanding of you. If you're on the wrong side of the aisle, they'll find something, or they'll just it's like a bad marriage Where, again, it's not the actual argument you're having. It's about something that happened 10, 15 years ago that you never resolved.
Right.
So we're entering into uncharted territory. It is a bit of a shot in the dark as we head into 2024. But I'm partly a little worried, a little apprehensive, a little ill at ease. But I'm also very excited. And instead of trying to apologize and get around all this lawfare being thrown at Trump, he needs to just go right towards it.
Right up the middle.
And
why not?
Again, as God
Don't
told
do
me
it again
last
the road.
night, he's like, I made Trump that way. Don't worry about it. He's got to do it. And then when you look at the other candidates, I think the only other candidate, in fact, this will be the guy I'm voting for, because RFK will now not be in the Democratic primary. He's going to run independent because they rigged it so much in Biden.
Official?
He's working
It's the
on
only way
it.
he's gonna be able
But
to do
that's
it.
the way it's going.
Only way he's going to be able to do
So
it.
because I can't really vote for him in the Dem primary, to me, I'm already decided. I'm happy to hear from other folks who like DeSantis, folks who like Nikki Haley. Maybe you're a Tim Scott fan. Maybe you like Chris Christie, which is strange, but I'm definitely
got a
voting
fat
for
fetish.
Vivek Ramaswamy in the primary because the guy is like me. He's a lot more successful than me. But like the ideas and the frame that he attacks the problem we're now in, the meta crisis we're now in, I got to go with Vivek. But the thing is, Vivek ain't going to be the guy. DeSantis ain't going to be the guy unless Trump is really knocked off the ballot.
Exactly.
So this is this uncharted waters we're talking about, folks. And one thing I loved, I saw Vivek on a long-form podcast last night. I think the Full Send podcast with those two young guys. He was saying that the super PAC system is a joke. In this sense in particular.
It is, dude.
That you're not, if your official campaign is not allowed to coordinate with your super PAC. But most of these candidates, their campaign's being run from the super PAC.
Right.
So they'll do this thing like, hey, come on down, hear the candidates speak. And it's all funded by the super PAC. It's all set up and scheduled by the super PAC, coordinated. But when money is exchanged at these fundraisers, the candidate just can't be in the room. It's stuff like that going on.
And there's lots of
It's
stuff like that
corrupt as heck, all right? So that's why you just need to gird your loins, get ready for more generic ads like we played. Buckle up. 2024 is going to be a lot of fun. And at least now in Alabama, finally the unelected judges decided where the people can elect officials. Because,
So that was when you give them too much power.
well, bending the arc of history towards justice means letting the Democrats win. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Actor portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage Pre-Approval Letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the 70th Alabama National Fair, October 6th through the 15th. Enjoy the rides, circus, shows, and the food.
On Saturday the 7th, join us for the finals of the K-Pop Stars Contest, sponsored by Korean American Association of Montgomery.
And on Sunday, it's HMMA Day with Genuine in concert at 7 p.m. See you at the fair October 6th through the 15th.
The concert is free with fair admission.
It's the best 10 days of fall.
The Alabama National Fair.
Sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Montgomery, Hyundai Motor Manufacturing Alabama, and Coca-Cola.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader and Sky Mosley here in the studio with me. And gentlemen, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And their Pest Pro Services, Ashley and her team are ready to help you with any of those pest control problems, whether you're dealing with mosquitoes, you just want to get rid of them. Or maybe you want to protect your home from termites, or God forbid, termites have actually hit your property.
No fun.
Hope folks know that your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover termite treatment.
Nope.
Or damage, for that matter. So you probably want to get Pest Pro out there. They actually have the Termidor HP2 injection unit. They're the only company in the River Region with this Termidor HP2 injection unit. It's a very impressive unit indeed.
Very impressive unit.
Yes, right. That's right. Here's the deal. They bring the very best and newest technology to your home when they're dealing with protecting your home from those pests. But it's also the secret. I think the secret sauce. How good of people they are.
Oh, definitely.
They're folks that give back to the community. They're folks that are easy to work with. They show up on time. They get the job done well. So whether you indeed have an emergency problem, or maybe you want to make Pest Pro your everyday pest control company, they can get you on a regular schedule. Give them a call.
A lot easier.
265-9990. That's 265-9990. You can also go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and the team there that you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. Now, you off-air, Sky, were asking about, okay, how are they going to go after Trump? How are they going to go after Trump supporters? As I've said many times on the show, I think it's the mad dog tactic, where you kick the dog. It's a perfectly normal dog. But you kick the dog until eventually the dog bites. You go, it's a mad dog, put it down, shoot it. Even if you're not the one who bites, they're going to then say, well, that was your dog, or that dog was on your team. And I think that's exactly where they're going. It's actually in U.S. history. We've lied ourselves into war many times. Look at Polk with the Mexican-American War. It's like, go down to the border. Don't you fire the first shot, but you be provocative to get them to shoot first so we can go whoop them and take the rest of,
with the yellow press.
Yeah, remember the Maine.
You provide the pictures, I'll provide the war.
Yeah, William Randolph Hearst, exactly
There's
right.
nothing new under the sun.
Got to watch, if you hadn't in a while, folks, rewatch Citizen Kane. It's from a different world, but a remarkable American movie.
Awesome.
So this is a common tactic. It's just been put on steroids with the latest technologies we have. And here to back that up is a story from the National Pulse. The Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, is weaponizing its resources to monitor supporters of former President Donald Trump, even creating a, quote, distinct category of domestic violent terrorists to target MAGA loyalists based on their political views. After January 6th, the FBI changed its definition of anti-government, anti-authority violent extremism from the attempt to further ideological agendas to the furtherance of political and or social agendas, which allowed Trump supporters to be labeled a potential domestic terroristic threat due to their politics alone. The FBI went even further, creating other to target those considered a threat, but did not fall within the definition of its anarchist, militia, or sovereign citizen groups. The alteration was implemented without a formal announcement in October 2022 and was given the vague definition of quote-unquote domestic violent extremists who cite anti-government or anti-authority motivations for violence or criminal activity not otherwise defined. Now, are there some idiots out there that want to take up arms against the government?
Of course there are.
Yeah,
Always are.
Don't pick that fight. It's one of the last things this government's good at killing people. But I do find it rich that the one institution that has started wars all over the world that claims the legal authority, and dadgummit, they've been legitimized by convincing a lot of the population through their corporate media. They're the one institution in this country, in this world, that apparently has the right to be violent.
Yes.
But if
its own citizen.
If you have a problem with that, you might.
You might get on the list.
Here's the deal. I am peace-loving. In fact, I really do believe that it's better to suffer an injustice than commit one. And instead of pummeling one another and fighting over one another, why don't you, try to improve yourself first? That might actually be a path to happiness. That said, this is remarkable that they do this quietly. And I'm sure, yes, there are always idiots and violent people out there.
Oh, yes.
But to use that label, the MAGA label, that is a broad brush. That is a wide swath of people in this country. And it's just another example of why you need to shut this institution down.
This is KBG-ish.
Yes.
Okay, esque.
Yes. Shut down the J. Edgar Hoover building. That'll be about 20,000 people. Then put the other 15,000 in U.S. Marshals, the DEA. They're great frontline folks. Let them work on kidnapping cases and child trafficking and drug cases and all that.
As they were intended.
Yeah.
But get rid of that daggum Hoover building and this back office, especially the more political types. And it needs to happen to more than just the FBI. We need a massive restructuring in this country. So here's the deal. The number of FBI domestic violent extremism investigations is skyrocketing as a result of this change of label that they have. With approximately 2,700 ongoing cases at the end of 2022, double that of the spring of 2020. The total number of domestic terrorism investigations is now more than 9,000, with the main target being Trump supporters. The FBI's clampdown on the MAGA movement is not isolated. The Department of Homeland Security, thank you, George W. Bush, and the White House are similarly working to quash it. Christopher Costa, former White House head of counterterrorism, claims the government's overriding aim is to focus on the weight of the law on the anti-government terrorist threat from what he calls, quote, a small percentage of misguided fellow Americans. Another senior intelligence official describes the general contempt in and around Washington for Trump and his supporters going into the 2024 presidential election. Quote, Trump's army constitutes the greatest threat of violence domestically. Politically, that's the reality and the problem set. Okay, hold on. You know, that Christopher Costa quote I just shared, it's very diplomatic. He says, our aim is to deal with this very small percentage of misguided fellow Americans. Which again, yeah, there are probably some groups that should be watched.
Sure.
But then the next comment here is a completely different kind of comment. Trump's army constitutes the greatest threat of violence domestically, politically. That's the reality and the problem set. Be careful. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait at all.
It's incredible. Our national institutions. I grew up, watching a show called The FBI. And
the
I thought
FBI,
these people are our heroes, our protectors. It's just fascinating that they have become so weaponized. They actually turning their attentions and the full weight and strength of the federal government against a legitimate political candidate and his supporters.
Yeah.
That's what it's come to.
It's a shame, but we got to hit a break. But let's go out with this week, an orange man with beautiful hair swept forward. He's leading an army against Washington. So the FBI is on the case. We'll be right back, folks.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back,
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
What'll it be, Joe?
Coffee and apple pie. Whoa, Madge, what was that?
The lights? Oh, they always dim when the dishwasher turns on.
You should call Crosby Electric.
You think?
Overloaded circuits at your business can be dangerous. The experts at Crosby Electric can upgrade your electrical service to safely handle the load. And they can add receptacles where needed to eliminate overuse of extension cords.
Madge, I'd like to pay you. The problem is it's so dark in here I can't read my bill.
No, the problem is you're cheap.
Well, that's a problem too.
Effective, attractive lighting is essential for any business. Crosby Electric can help with a new lighting scheme that will give your business a fresh, exciting look. And they can recommend outdoor lighting for greater safety and security.
That'll be $4.50 for the coffee and pie, Joe.
Well, don't I get anything for recommending Crosby Electric?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Don't put off essential electrical upgrades for your business. Call 272-2085 or visit crosbyelectric.com.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Oil prices are sliding, and so are energy companies as concerns over a potential recession reemerge amid a host of strengthening economic headwinds.
Since midsummer, the yield on the 10-year Treasury note has steadily climbed. That's caused a spillover increase in other borrowing costs. The costs of mortgages, auto loans, and credit card debt have all gone up in response. The collective impact of higher rates across the country could also weaken the government's own finances.
That's correspondent Jeremy House reporting. Oil prices are down more than 11% in just over a week. Saudi Arabia and Russia announced production cuts back in July, and a barrel of oil at that time soared above $90. The Saudis said this week they'll be sticking with those cuts until the end of the year. However, prices actually fell with little sign of any strong demand. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Some weather changes around the way as a cold front approaches the state, but that's tomorrow. Today is much like yesterday. It'll be warm and dry with tolerable humidity, plenty of sunshine, and a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, it will become mostly cloudy and not as cool. Overnight low temperature down to about 68. Tomorrow, high in the middle 80s, risk of a few fairly isolated showers may be widely scattered in the afternoon and evening hours ahead of the cold front. Then, breezy sunshine on Saturday, much cooler with a high in the middle 70s. Jacket weather nights Saturday and Sunday night with lows in the mid to upper 40s and the high on Sunday only about 72. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. This part of the program brought to you by, well, Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Happy anniversary.
That is all right.
Yeah, that is so cool when you see, did they say what year?
They probably did, but I do not.
I don't remember it. And they've been together for a while, though.
I
Couple
believe so.
decades, I would guess.
I would guess.
Probably more than that.
Couple weeks, at least.
A couple weeks, at least.
They seem happy, so they recently married.
It's so great seeing,
so that's great.
like when you know, like a couple, a married couple, and then you see the photos of when they're really young.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That was really cool.
And so congratulations on the anniversary, guys. I hope you all celebrate in style. And, of course, they're at Dillon Rings. They can help you with, well, pretty much anything you need when it comes to jewelry. They are a full-service jewelry shop. To prove that, all you got to do is go to DillonRings.com and go to services, and you'll see everything they have to offer, from on-site jewelry repair to watch repair, appraisals, custom design. We'll tell you more about that in detail a little later. Spa treatments, which that's just cleanings, right?
Right.
Stone replacement, or they can set a new stone. Like Eddie constantly brings you up, Sky. He looks over at your ring.
Right, I see this beautiful
I've
piece
used
he
most
wears
of
all
their
the time.
services before I was ever associated with Blue.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if we can get this on.
Yeah. Folks, you can see it on the live stream, Joey Clark Live on YouTube, and Sky is showing off the bling there. And that was originally just like a wedding band with no stones in
Some
it?
wedding band, some spare diamonds.
Okay.
And I talked to Josh. I had something specific in mind, and it's very hard to inlay those diamonds.
Oh, yeah.
And that has never been an issue. Right. And that's almost 13 years old.
That's beautiful. Beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Now, one other service they have listed here, and we've not seen it, is pearl stringing. But I want to see that happen.
I'd like to see
Haven't
that.
done that one.
Be very interesting to see how small they have to drill that hole and do that circular pearl. And I think it could be challenging.
And, of course, they have an amazing selection there at Dillon Rings, from high-end items, high-end jewelry pieces, to that everyday jewelry that you still want to go out in style, but you don't want to break the bank. And maybe, when you're wearing something every day, it might break. It might get messed up. You might lose it. So you don't want to be wearing your finest fare necessarily every day.
You go.
It's still going to look beautiful, but at a more reasonable price. So check out Dillon Rings today. Again, DillonRings.com, DillonRings.com, or give them a call at 215-3669. But I think the best way to work with, well, the couple there, Josh and Leslie Ryder, happy anniversary, guys. Stop by 119 Brown Springs
go by there,
Road.
you bet.
Great folks. Great folks. This is a common theme with our sponsors. They're all very easy to work with. And I appreciate them being sponsors of the show, and I appreciate y'all out there listening, stopping by and saying, hey, you heard about it here on News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. Now, last night there was supposed to be kind of a small debate, like a dialogue between Chris Christie
Right.
and Vivek Ramaswamy at the same time with Brett Baer moderating on
Correct.
Special Report. Yeah. Well, that didn't happen because the RNC threatened Ramaswamy and Christie
with free speech violations, perhaps?
we're going to ban you from the next GOP debate. Did they threaten to ban DeSantis? And now they're trying to probably drop DeSantis like a bad habit. Let's put all our super PAC money behind Nikki Haley. That miserable liar. Now, don't get me wrong. Nikki is not unique in that. They all do this sort of lying. But here, it hit me last night that Nikki Haley and a few others are miserable liars. But Donald Trump was a hilarious liar. Bill Clinton was a charming liar. Barack Obama was an inspiring liar. So they're all liars, but they have a different way of how they go about lying. Some are better than others at it. It's what I said.
It's kind of like drunks. You know, you have your happy drunk and you have your angry drunk.
Right, exactly.
A lot of times it depends on what you're drinking, but I got you.
No, Trump and Clinton, I think, are kind of in the same basket. It's that old George Carlin joke about Clinton. One guy says the other, that Bill Clinton is full of crap. The other guy says back, yeah, but at least he's honest about it. And that fits Trump and Clinton perfectly.
It's endearing, isn't it?
Right. So and when I see Nikki Haley doing her usual political lies, I'm like, oh, it's just miserable. It's like you're literally working for a military contractor.
Yep.
No, thank you. No, thank you at all. At least Mike Durant started his own. Like, okay, I can respect that. You started it out of whole cloth. Good for you, man.
Look what happened to him. He wasn't part of the big connection. Wasn't part of the big club.
Very true. It's a dirty, dirty game.
It is.
That's why I will
really
never
is,
run
man.
for office. You know how many skeletons I have in my closet? You know how many stupid things I've said in public?
You should consider the dog catcher's position. It's a great job. You get to ride around, hang out in a truck all day, go play with dogs. It's a city gig, man. Good insurance, good benefits.
272-9228. I'll take it into
I would
consideration.
if I were you.
Fred, how you doing, Fred?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Fred.
You know, my wife doesn't keep up with politics and listens to Faith Radio only, and she's perfectly content. And I'm just wondering, you know, are the three of you there and me and thousands of other people that there's not much we can do about it anyway. I mean, I like listening and talking about it, but sometimes it just gets me more depressed.
Welcome to Talk Radio.
Yeah, have you listened to me?
Well,
could be worse. I mean, you're married,
you know,
right?
Well,
just
you know,
talks about it and he's single.
It's like the George Carlin thing, you know, that Greg has played a lot of different times. That I don't care if I'm an activist or I do this or give money or whatever, it's all going to be the same. And I hate to have that defeatist attitude, but you know, it causes me to sometimes worry about it at night or try to make sure my family's in good shape. And I don't know.
Well, see, here's where I'm at. I think a little bit of political cynicism, only political. Don't get cynical about all of life. And for instance, this week, it was the best news I saw seeing Lucy Carroll Clark brought into the world, my new niece. It's like, how can you be cynical seeing a face like that? Right. Seeing all the potential and innocence of that kid. But it's a little.
So true.
It is true.
I'm sorry.
But a little bit of political cynicism is very healthy because it helps you see that, oh, what I've been told or what I have believed to be true for a long time, it ain't. Now, if you keep going and saying nothing is true, that could be a problem. You take one red pill, not the whole bottle. Or some of y'all are out there when Morpheus offers you the red or the blue pill and you eat both. And you're like, that is not what you're...
I know that.
Right. It's not what you're supposed to do. But it's more like, okay, break down what you thought you knew and then start to have a discerning eye. And I say it all the time on the show. Look for champions that are going to lead a new cause. And it could be somebody running for politics, a political office, or it could be somebody like an Elon Musk. It's going to be all types that show up and I think change this place for the better.
Well, and, you know, it's so biblical about don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. And, you know, I mean, there's a ton of stuff in the Bible about that. But it just seems like, and not your fault, obviously, but then sometimes if I don't sleep, I'll listen to Coast to Coast. And, you know, they're kind of all over that, too. And, you know, it just kind of gets in your veins. And maybe my wife's smarter than I am. Just listen to Faith Radio and don't read the paper and don't watch the 6 o'clock news.
Well, I'll admit there are some days, Fred, where I wish I had gone. I was looking at, it was expensive. That's why we kind of moved away from it. I was looking at Swanee because they had a music production school there, that college. And I sometimes wonder what if I'd done that. In some ways,
Yeah.
I think I'd be a lot happier, but I always have had this itch of wanting to get to the root of politics and philosophy and religion. Like, I care about this stuff, so
Right.
it makes me
And me too.
miserable, but it's also worthwhile.
Well, and I'm just kind of chained to listen to it, and it's kind of vilification from what we've known for years and years. And some of these things go back to JFK, and I mean, I remember Kennedy dying when I was 12, and I mean, it just seems like that there hadn't been a whole lot of good. I don't know. It just seems a little frustrating, and I'm not going to ever listen to you again. Eddie, are we on for this weekend? My family's coming down from Atlanta, and we've rented a van, and are you still on for us, all of us, to come? There's, I think, 12 or 13.
As long as you're
to
bringing
come
the
to
keg
lake
of Bush
this
Light.
weekend.
As long as you're bringing the keg of Bush Light, we are still a go.
Hey, guys, thank you. I really enjoy your show.
Appreciate it, Fred.
Thank you, Fred.
If that's your real name. 272-9228 if you want to join like Fred. Coming up, we're going to get into what's happening in Ukraine.
Oofka.
And there's a lot of back and forth. We've got J.D. Vance, who's really the guy we agree with on this in the Senate. Then we're going to hear from Michael Bennett of Colorado.
Right.
Michael Bennett. Like, why does he sound like a that drag show on Bravo? Like one of good morning, garbage. Oh, hi, girl. Yeah, I'm Michael Bennett.
Very unfamiliar with that. But I'm
You
glad
are?
I'm
No,
glad-
it's
I'm
a
glad
great.
somebody does.
It's a great place to get like insults.
Yeah.
Like I will say, drag queens have the best, most vicious insults. It's pretty remarkable.
I see.
Well, because the origins of that is mocking women. Yes.
Joey, they're mocking him because they're jealous. They want to be the woman.
Sure. It's just that we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but.
I mean,
Like
maybe
that
you
sort
can
of
identify
stuff.
better. I just don't. I don't.
That
get
sort
it.
of stuff, that sort of like cross-dressing drag stuff, that goes back to the revolution. You had that stuff in the big cities. But it's just remarkable that now it's like,
We
we're
don't
just
play
going
that out in
to...
the country.
Oh, sure. I've met some of you hayseeds, and y'all are pretty sweet. All right? Takes all types, even in the country, son. Give me a break about that. Yeah, what's the joke? There was always a florist in town, right? Goodness gracious.
Not in Chisholm, man.
Not in Chisholm? Okay.
Alley Gardens, we had a nice florist.
You had to go uptown.
Yep, you had to go north of the tracks.
But we'll get into the back and forth. Hear from J.D. Vance, hear from Michael Bennett. And there's a Politico headline that I want to share before we hit our top of the hour break. That, the headline is Ukraine is, quote unquote, freaking out.
Yeah.
As McCarthy chaos threatens US aid.
Oh,
Now-
money's getting cut off,
Yeah.
man. Let's freak out.
They're freaking out because, hey, our free ride might be over.
Well, it's been a good
Right.
It's been a good ride now, yeah. If they were smart, they would have saved that money.
But mark my words, this whole idea of, well, we should have just kept the funding going. $100 billion wasn't enough. If we had just spent $120 billion, $150 billion, then Ukraine would have won. But because y'all are mean and you love Putin, and that's why Ukraine lost. No. But mark my words, that's what they're going to use. They're going to use this, that you didn't spend enough money, that's why they lost, as the excuse for a bad policy in the first place.
What's a
Money don't
blanket
fix all
excuse
problems.
covers everything.
Right.
Why not?
Money doesn't fix everything.
And
Fix the education system.
it is remarkable to
Oh,
me.
wait a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You think so?
And it is remarkable to me when you hear somebody else, Lindsey Graham. Well, if we let Putin have Ukraine, if Russia can just take Ukraine, then that's just going to send a green light to Xi Jinping and, that he can take Taiwan.
He's got his own issues right now.
If we don't fund them, then Xi's just going to take Taiwan. Well, Lindsey, I have a question for you. What if we keep the funding going and Russia takes Ukraine too? What message does that send to China?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's one thing to talk a big game. Like if Deion Sanders talked all that smack he does and he couldn't back it up, how much would people pay attention to him?
He'd be ridiculed and
Right.
you wouldn't hear much from him anymore.
Right. So if you want to actually, deter China or Russia, you actually have to be able to back up your talk. And I have a feeling that for a while we haven't actually been able to back up our big talk. So we'll get into all that here in this upcoming hour. 272-9228 if you want to join in on the conversation. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Cole Plumbing. James Cole and the team there at Cole Plumbing, well, they're ready to help you with any of your plumbing problems, in particular emergencies. So if you have a burst pipe inside or outside your home, you need to call up Cole Plumbing today at 279-8919 and say, hey, get out here, guys. This is bad. And so the great thing about Cole Plumbing is they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you in your home. That means they're not going to tear out a bunch of drywall inside or dig up a huge hole in your yard outside. Nice. They're going to solve that problem. It's almost like it's a liquid-based technology, so that hardens once you get it into the pipe. It's pretty remarkable stuff. But, of course, it can help you with more than just those emergencies, from low water pressure to clogged drains to gas line leaks. Maybe your sump pump in the basement ain't working.
Ooh, that ain't ever no fun.
Maybe you need to run a new water line. It could be you want to upgrade to a tankless water heater system. Anything like this, Cole Plumbing can help you out. So, again, 279-8919. It's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Well said, gentlemen. Well said. More news and views in the afternoon. Second hour coming up after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Some Kaiser Permanente workers still on the picket lines in multiple states over wages and staff shortages. Unions representing the workers approved a strike for 3 days in California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, and 1 day in Virginia and the District of Columbia. Doctors are not participating, and the company says it will keep its 39 hospitals open. A FedEx plane skidded off the runway during a crash landing at a Tennessee airport when its landing gear did not descend, but there were no injuries reported. Wall Street has been drifting lower as pressure from the bond market remains high. That's due to worries about a too-hot U.S. job market. The Dow is down 128 points. The Nasdaq 68 points in the red now. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week. People just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by JB Windows and Siding. Call Jones Brothers. You'll be glad you did.
JB Windows and Siding has what you're looking for. Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Some weather changes around the way as a cold front approaches the state, but that's tomorrow. Today is much like yesterday. It'll be warm and dry with tolerable humidity, plenty of sunshine, and a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, it will become mostly cloudy and not as cool. Overnight low temperature down to about 68. Tomorrow, high in the middle 80s, risk of a few fairly isolated showers may be widely scattered in the afternoon and evening hours ahead of the cold front. Then, breezy sunshine on Saturday, much cooler with a high in the middle 70s. Jacket weather nights Saturday and Sunday night with lows in the mid to upper 40s and the high on Sunday only about 72. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting Newsroom, here's today's top stories. Another Tuesday night shooting in Montgomery. Police were called to the 3800 block of Governor's Drive, where they found an adult male victim with a life-threatening gunshot wound. The victim was taken to a local hospital for treatment. Montgomery police attempted a traffic stop on a stolen vehicle in the area of Vaughn Road and Eastern Boulevard Wednesday. Officers pursued the suspect when he refused to stop. The chase ended on I-85 North when road spikes disabled the vehicle. An unidentified man was taken into custody. A Wetumpka woman has been charged with chemical endangerment of a child while pregnant. After refusing to obey a court-ordered drug test, Maria Emfinger was placed in the Metro Jail, where she finally submitted and tested positive for multiple controlled substances, including methadone and amphetamines. Emfinger is currently out on bond. From the Blue Water Broadcasting Newsroom, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Hey, Tammy, let me tell you about how to bring in those big deer.
Randy, I know how to attract the big bucks.
Ha ha, very funny. At Prattville Farm Center, we've been helping hunters be successful for over 35 years.
We have the products, supplies, and knowledge you need to get those big bucks.
That's right, Tammy. We don't believe in gimmicks or magic seed. We just believe in sound planting practices that work.
So come see us today at 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville.
Now that we're done talking about those big bucks, how about those cute does?
Enjoy an evening of wine on the water at the 13th Annual Riverwalk Wine Festival, Friday, October 13th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Union Station Train Shed. This event includes a variety of wine tastings, food vendors, and live music by the Park Band and Funk Nation. Must be 21 or over to purchase a ticket. Tickets available online at mgmcityevents.com or montgomeryal.gov. Proceeds will go to Second Chance Foundation, sponsored by Publix, Vintage Year, and the City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Just a reminder, folks, if you want to watch us, carry us in your pocket on the live stream. Joey Clark Live on YouTube. I suggest YouTube because when I listen to a lot of podcasts that way, and you can close down, put YouTube in the background, it'll still run, play through your car, all this sort of stuff. So if you're frustrated with our app or you prefer just watching us, again, Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe, folks. Like and subscribe. In just a second, we're not only get to Michael Bennet, Senator Bennet of Colorado. Senator Tuberville so bad. Senator J.D. Vance talking about Ukraine. We also have John Kirby coming up. In a little preview, he says, still no indication of any kind of widespread corruption or misuse of Ukraine military aid.
And they don't know whose cocaine that was in the White House.
Right. But first, we got some calls rolling in. Let's go to Jimmy, who's been patient. Hey, Jimmy.
How y'all doing this afternoon?
Doing all right. Jimmy.
I just wanted to have give you a parallel to the Ukraine fiasco. There was a movie years ago called Charlie Wilson's War.
Excellent.
Played by Tom Hanks.
Yep.
And he was with the funneling money to the Afghans fighting the Russians. I mean, it never ended. For a long time.
Absolutely, and Aaron Sorkin's a big old lib, but he wrote that movie into one of the greats. Really appreciate it.
You know who the other two people that played in the movie?
Tom Hanks.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman.
He's my favorite in that movie. Yeah, he's
He was a
fantastic.
CIA operative.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've watched this thing many times. I think I've seen the movie like 10 times or something.
But that reminds me of the Ukraine mess. Anyhow, y'all have a great day.
You too, Jimmy. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
calling,
Jimmy.
buddy.
Yeah, I might have to watch that again, an 11th time or something here.
The Russians learned something out of their adventures in Afghanistan and our adventures, and I still believe they just sucked us in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They sure
We're
did.
doing
Here
it
we
again.
are.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Doug from. You're saying from Titus, but Doug, you moved, right?
No, I didn't move.
You didn't move?
No.
No, I didn't
Why
move.
you want to think people move out of Titus? Once you come to Titus, you never want to leave.
Or they don't let you?
No, you can. It's
What
free
about
country.
Crabs in a
We're
bucket.
free men.
Crabs in a bucket.
You don't ever want
Man,
to.
Titus is closest thing to heaven on earth, and
Thank
we're not but about 20. I'm about 20 miles south of some of the best spring water moonshine you'll ever drink. You just need to drink it with. You need to drink it with great discretion.
No, I would like to think when I think of Titus, especially as you get closer to the lake, like where you live, Eddie, that's sort of like the perfect habitat for the legendary Kenny Powers.
That's more of a slap out area.
That's more of a slap
yeah,
out
he's more of a
thing?
slap out guy.
All right, all right.
Joey, I got a request. If you have time, you're such a popular guy. Could you describe to us how District 2 is, how the boundaries have changed?
Not really. I don't have visual aids for you. Like, I don't have both maps
We
pulled
know where
up.
the county lines are. Take us to
Right.
the county lines.
All right, hold on.
Hold
One
your finger
second.
out.
Come on. Don't
One
put
second.
Driver. He knows
I don't know if
that.
I'm going to be able to do the compare and contrast, but I can describe the map they chose, especially in this area.
It was
So-
none of the three options we had, right?
So District 2, District 2 it has Montgomery in it in this area. I guess Bullock, Macon, Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Now Lowndes County is in the 7th district.
Wow.
And then Autauga, Elmore, Chilton, Coosa, they're all in the 6th district.
Mm-hmm.
And then even within our listening area, Tallapoosa County is in the 3rd district.
Yeah.
So
we cover
it's-
all the districts.
Yeah.
I was afraid that Elmore got drawn out. We got too many honkies up here.
They got to put you somewhere.
Elmore is definitely, you're eating up a lot of Shelby County now.
Yeah.
Where the counties that ended up being split that didn't correspond with county lines are like Tuscaloosa County, it looks like, Jefferson
that, yeah.
County.
That whole weird finger there.
That's what I'm
District
looking at.
7
That little
is-
Great Lake action there. What's that all about?
Yeah.
That's the finger county.
Yeah. Give me the finger.
Man.
That's right. Or something.
So who is my U.S. representative now? Because I'm in 6. I mean, when does this take effect?
For the
Next
next
election.
upcoming election.
yeah.
So whoever is your congressman now, it's going to change. You might have 2 congressmen head to head. You might have new folks jumping in. It's just assume it's a brand new day. We're going to see what happens.
Sure enough.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the clarification. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for taking my call.
See you,
Appreciate
buddy.
it, Doug. 272-9228. So now let's go to John Kirby.
All right.
This is Kirby,
Not a fan, by the
I think yesterday or a couple days ago, talking about all this equipment being thrown into Ukraine. He said.
First, when you and I spoke earlier this year, you noted that the administration had not seen any military or financial assistance falling prey to any kind of corruption in Ukraine. Is that still the case? And then second, Semaphore is reporting that the Chief of Staff for the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations, Christopher Mayer, his chief was allegedly part of an Iranian influence campaign and had access to top secret governmental information. Does the NSC have an assessment of that? Was national security compromised? Has the president been briefed?
No, I think we've seen the press reporting, but I'd refer you to DOD on that one completely. And then on your first,
What they're talking about there is like this Iranian plot, spy ring in D.C. that got busted.
Yeah.
That one of the top negotiators of the Biden administration within the Iran deal they're trying to reconstitute, that Trump pulled out of, that one of those guys is actually an Iranian spy.
Shocking.
Working for the
Well,
Biden administration.
Not much, but yeah.
It's crazy. It's not as bad as Alger Hiss, but come on.
We got a
That's
sucker
pretty
in there,
bad.
man.
Now, what about Ukraine, Admiral?
first question, still no indication that there's been any kind of widespread corruption or inappropriate use of U.S. capabilities. As a matter of fact, I don't know who asked me before about expenditure rates, but I mean, oftentimes the stuff that's getting to Ukraine, it's going hand to mouth. I mean, matter of days before some stuff gets there, and then a matter of days more before it's being used on the battlefield. Not every system, of course, but the Ukrainians are in a very active fight. They're using the stuff that's being provided to them.
Senator Angus King told me earlier this year that he communicated to the Zelensky administration that any type of corruption or graft could really screw this up. Has the administration communicated to the Ukrainians just how important this good government is to keep the
100% at various levels, including the leader level.
Including the leader level. Okay, well,
How does he
thank
keep
you.
it straight?
Well, we did just
I
ship
don't know.
Ukraine 1.1 million rounds that we seized off an Iranian boat.
Oh,
Sent
nice.
them that ammo.
Well, that's good because they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Right. Well, it's our paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
So
Also-
they know they're going to get paid.
It's also interesting, like, what did we consider wasteful? Like, corruption is, okay, the weapons don't get delivered where they're supposed to be delivered. They're taken off some train or van somewhere and put on the black market.
That happens every day.
Oh, yeah. Happens a lot. That said, what do we call them wasteful? Because, okay, we just sent them those new Abrams. Well, they're not that new, but you sent them over the Abrams tanks and sent them over some Bradley fighting vehicles. And, let's have them just try to puncture the Zaporizhzhia region there. Let's take Robotina. Let's try to take Verbova. Let's really puncture in here. And, oh, no, they were blown up.
Shocking.
Actually, if you look at the open source maps this morning, coming out from yesterday and the fighting yesterday, it looks like the small areas, if you look at these maps where the Ukrainians have punctured somewhat, especially in Zaporizhzhia.
The third line of defense.
Or they barely have gotten past the first
line of defense.
Right. They pushed through the point of contact. They got to the beginning of the Surovikin line. And it looked like, okay, you see what they're trying to do. They're trying to hold certain areas so they can stage a big force to then try to break the land bridge. Right.
Have a breakthrough.
It starts to make sense when you start looking at the maps. Well, that one spot that they were really pushing in, it looks like the Russians are now just taking back that territory.
Right.
And in fact, the
you wind up being
areas
surrounded
right.
by the second and third line of defense.
Right. Well, no, it looks like the areas that the Russians let them have were still low ground, and the Russians still had high ground. And then they started to counterattack. And, by the way, it's starting to rain. So good luck moving
October
those.
in Ukraine.
Yes, good luck moving any heavy vehicles
Oh, that
in
means
that
it's
money
pumpkin
mess.
spice season over there.
Right.
All right. Well, that's going to cost a couple more big.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Now, I don't sit here and think that these open source maps you find tell the whole story. I don't think it tells the whole story by any means. Again, we're kind of in the dark here sitting, especially us radio clowns in Montgomery, Alabama. But when you read between the lines, you see how, like, the administration's talking about this. You see how Lindsey Graham is talking about this. Even Mitch McConnell or Chuck Schumer. It doesn't seem like it's going very well.
Right.
And you're seeing more and more voices in the Senate in particular, and a lot of Republicans. Jim Jordan, he's being asked by a lot of folks, if you run for speaker, are you going to support money to Ukraine? He said, no, not at all.
Right.
There are a lot of folks changing. Now, again, the excuse is going to be, well, because y'all didn't give more money, that's why the Ukrainians lost. It's like, guys, we didn't even fully blow through the $100 billion yet, and they were losing anyway.
They lost a long time.
Just any kind of talk from these people about wastefulness or efficiency. Come on.
Right.
The first thing that this administration did was abandon Afghanistan and billions upon billions of
Tell me anything they've done
equipment.
positive for you or I.
So don't even talk about it.
Right. I can't stand
Come
for these
on,
people
man.
to begin to lecture.
Now, get a load of this. This is Michael Bennett. Hi, I'm Michael Bennett.
Is he from South Park?
Goodness, he might be. Maybe he might have inspired
Just look familiar.
a South Park character. Is that
He looks
Mr.
like a South.
Is that Mr. Garrison?
He kind of looks like a South Park
Got
character.
a little going on there.
Oh no, but this is Michael Bennett. And get a load of this. We were talking all this week with the speaker being ousted, McCarthy being ousted, and this threat of the government shutdown, and we only got 45 days to make sure, for instance, the troops are paid. Well, here's Michael Bennett on that issue. Let's listen in together, folks.
Board, not just the funding for Ukraine, but funding for emergencies and so many other things that we have to.
Are you ready to
get
hold up
done.
a bill that comes to the Senate that does not include that Ukraine funding, potentially to shut down the government?
I definitely am. I said on Saturday that my mom, she's a Polish Jew. She was born in Warsaw, Poland in 1938. It's very easy to see from her perspective. She survived, with the perspective of the 16 million people that were killed in Ukraine and Poland during World War II, how they get forgotten by politicians here that seem to, be concerned with a different set of imperatives. And Katie, I don't think this is a moment for politics. It's not a question of when we go home, do we stay here? Do we make a trade for this or do we make a trade for that? As Zelensky said, he said, we're giving our lives. We're asking you to give your money. I think that we've given a little over $70 billion, which is less than what the Europeans have put in this war. And I think if any fair person who looks at this and considers the fact that Ukraine has been able to, because of their bravery, because of their courage, partly because of Zelensky's leadership as well, they've been able to fight the Russians to a standstill on the front line. All of that collapses if there's not U.S. aid to backstop it, and the Russians are about to start a counteroffensive. That's well known. So, Katie, over the next month, we're going to have to make this case to the American people. It is proof that we should not have passed a bill this weekend without Ukraine aid, but that is what it is. Now we got to go forward, and we got to, for our kids and for our grandkids, for the sake of this democracy, we got to do the right thing here.
Senator.
So, shut down the government.
For our kids and our grandkids. I love that they just start bringing all the emotional feels out there.
Bringing up his grandmother from Poland and the Nazis and everything. That was great.
Hit them in the feels when you can.
Yeah, but was the goal fighting the Russians to a standstill for a certain period of time?
Wow.
Now,
he said that.
Wait. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. They fought him to a standstill. Yeah. Now, here's the deal. I think Putin made a massive mistake when he first went in. Number one, just going in. From his point of view, he thought they're just stringing me along with these Minsk Accords and all that. And a lot of people had died in that Donbass area where fighting's still ongoing from 2014 all the way to 2018. But I think the big mistake Putin made when he first went in is like, we'll go in with 90,000, 120,000 troops. Maybe we had 200,000 mobilized. Yeah. But we'll very quickly be able to scare them into doing a peace agreement real quick. And that didn't work. And to the Ukrainians' credit, they fought back, and they fought back pretty efficiently and bravely. That said, once you start to see the Russians retrench and take up and build this massive, what's called the Surovikin line, and you see them mobilize, like, what was the super PAC that's funding ads during the Republican debate that we've decimated 50% of the Russian military? Yeah. Well, did they start with like 2-3 million? No, I don't think so. No, this does not look good. And it's one thing to support a cause because you think it's moral and it's the right thing to do, and you think Putin's going to march across Europe. Okay, I don't think he is trying to plan to march across Europe. Because out of both sides of their mouth, the Russians are so weak, they've been decimated, but if we don't send more money, they're going to march all the way through Poland, which Poland, the Russians don't want to fight Poland. I'll put it that way.
That some of Putin's advisors, and maybe the feeling was that they might be welcomed as liberators in some parts of Ukraine.
Right. Sure. Maybe very eastern parts, but they were wrong. They made a massive mistake there. So we'll see where this goes. In a second, I want to play Senator J.D. Vance and his point of view. He's giving more the point of view that we're favorable towards, but wanted to give the one perspective from those who still want more money. Michael Bennett of Colorado, him and Tuberville were really going back and forth over Space Command headquarters. And, it's interesting how all the Republicans don't want to fund the troops, they want to shut the government down. Well, if you don't give us our Ukraine funding, I, Michael Bennett, will shut the government down. 272-9228. Let's go to Don. Hey, Don, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I saw Doug Sattel, 2 T's, EL. You have 17 December 22.
That's another one of those. I had one yesterday.
What is that?
That's some kind of IT, and I just left the guy on. It happens every so often. He ran on for 28 minutes. He was still going.
What is it? Just a robot?
It's like an IT newscast.
Oh.
That's really weird.
That's weird.
No, that's happened before. It's really weird.
Oh, it's bizarre.
I've had heavy breathers, but nothing like this.
And he sounded legit on the when we screened him.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally legit.
Yeah, he sure did.
Then they plug in the old
but
robot.
Before we go much further, 85 and 65, I guess, is pretty much shut down. My phone keeps blowing up.
Which
with,
direction?
You ain't coming into Montgomery and you ain't getting out.
I'm trapped.
So
escape from.
That's all I'm getting from the phone calls. I'm sure we'll get some clarification, but exit 1 is where it started. So
this part of the program brought to you by XI Repair, and they're at XI Repair. Jonathan Strange and his team. I hope we see Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a message, man. I'm thinking about it.
But they can help you, of course, with those smartphones. That's what they specialize in.
They can.
From crack screen to water damage to a battery not holding the charge. Maybe you've got a dirty port, so your charger isn't connecting. Could be you've got a virus. The phone's acting really funky.
It happens a lot more often now than ever.
Especially if you go to those websites. I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
Just trying to think how to spell a word.
Yeah, I don't blame anybody for anything. You know, live how you want. But you're going to get that virus potentially if you go to those things. Exit Repair, though, can fix all of that. They can
sure
also
can.
do work on laptop computers, desktop computers, even top-end gaming consoles like a PlayStation 5. And, of course, they can sell you brand-new smartphones or refurbished ones.
They sure can.
If you want to smart the shop way, work with the folks there at XI Repair. And they can also do data recovery. So whether you deleted a big project or something you really cherish by accident, or it could be you're in the middle of, say, a business deal gone wrong. You're suing somebody's suing you, and you realize that SOB tried to delete certain emails.
They can find them.
They can find it there at XI
They sure
Repair.
can.
So check them out today. You can always go to xirepair.com. That's the letter X, the letter I, repair.com. Or give them a call. It's 777-1234. That's 777-1234. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. Bonus points if you mention Sky Mosley.
Style points, too.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Actor portrayal based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week. Some nights, too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Next contestant.
Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Sky Mosley had to skedaddle, but always appreciate him being here. So just Eddie and I together.
Yeah, man.
What is it that your shirt says?
Keep it real estate, baby.
Say
Keep
baby
it,
on there?
Well, it's just gotta throw that in there.
You're one of those guys that says baby all the time?
Apparently. And honey and sweetie and things like that.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
part
a
of-
nice guy.
Hmm?
I'm a nice guy.
Okay.
I like to be.
That's one word for it. I tend to use the word sweet.
Ah.
This is part of the program. Speaking of folks, though, who are nice and experts in the real estate, one aspect of the real estate market, we're talking about Alabama Home Mortgage.
They are, Joey.
So whether you're looking to buy a home, and it could be your first-time home buyer, or it's not your first rodeo, and you just want to work with people that you can trust, they can help you. And from every
will.
step of the way, from pre-approval all the way to closing day. And, you don't want to skip pre-approval.
Don't want to skip it, especially in this market. It's still a real competitive market right now. There's not much inventory out there. So when you do find that house you want, the last thing you want to be a Friday, and it's 6 o'clock at night, and now you got to get a pre-approval. Now you can call them, and a lot of times I get them on the weekend, but it's a lot easier for your realtor if you've got that pre-approval in hand, ready to go.
Right, exactly right. And of course, they're doing a lot of refinances right now because folks are dealing with credit card debt and all sorts of debts, but in particular, these credit card interest rates are going through the roof. And I can't imagine being stuck under 7, 8, 10 grand of credit card debt, and you're barely getting money together to make the minimum payments.
Yep.
You have equity built up in your home, value built up in your home. You can use that as a way to get that credit card debt off your back or consolidate any sort of debt you have out there. And especially if you're a veteran, they're VA home loan certified there at Alabama Home Mortgage. That means, well, if you haven't taken advantage of these benefits that you earn through your service, you're a veteran,
should,
you need to call up Kim and Madeline today. They can get you a great deal, folks. So call Alabama Home Mortgage at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. You can also apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Now, let's go to J.D. Vance, shall we?
Okay, doke.
He sat down, I believe this was last night, with Laura Ingram. She's a handsome woman.
Not really.
No, I didn't say beautiful.
Not
I
really
said
that
handsome. I think she's handsome.
Always wants me to get a carrot when I see her.
I think you're a misogynist. You're just
I
like
do
Dave
give pretty good
Portnoy over
massage.
there. You're the Portnoy of this whole area with all the money.
I give good massages. What's that got to do with me doing Portnoy?
Let's listen in to the handsome woman talking to Senator J.D. Vance on the issue of Ukraine.
Over into the suburbs. And what he's most focused on is to make sure, come hell or high water, Ukraine gets what it needs. Come on.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous, Laura. And by the way, the American people, especially conservatives, are completely fed up with it. You can go through the list of every single problem, the border, the fentanyl problem, the crime problem, the high inflation. All of these things are far more important to the American people, as they should be, than defending the border of Ukraine. We have to be honest with ourselves about the corruption in that country. But even if it was a perfect country, there are problems here at home that deserve our focus and deserve the attention of the government of this country. What happened last week in both the House and the Senate should serve as a wake-up call to the Ukraine First caucus on Capitol Hill. The American people are over it. So there may be some way, Laura, for them to try to shove another $70 or $80 billion in Ukraine funding down the throats of the House and the Senate. They're going to have to fight through me to get it done, but more importantly, they're going to have to overcome the frustration of the American people. This is really the fight of the next couple of weeks. The Uniparty is really going to drive this Ukraine stuff home. People need to wake up. They need to call their congressmen, and they need to push back against putting the interests of a country 6,000 miles away ahead of our own.
Well, Biden doesn't seem to care, though, if Congress actually approves more funding for Ukraine. He'll figure out a way around it.
Without additional funding, how long will the United States be able to support Ukraine?
We can support Ukraine in the next tranche that we need, and there is another means by which we may be able to find funding for that, but I'm not going to get into that now.
The heck does that mean?
Just like the student loan deal, Joey. Remember how they said that was illegal, yet we just released more money for student loan forgiveness? Right.
Oh, and apparently the actual cost of Biden's $127 billion student loan forgiveness is probably much higher than $127 billion.
Right, Joey.
And did you notice, this has been happening more and more with the president, with Sloppy Joe. Like, there's a lot of this weird wheezing and gasping going on.
That reminds me of the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah. But let's let Senator Vance respond to this.
Oh, wait, should we expect more accounting errors on the horizon? Remember that little trick they pulled? Senator Vance, the people of America couldn't get via Trump $5 billion to secure our border with the wall. But this guy's like, oh no, we got tricks up our sleeve for Ukraine. I mean, they can always fund the money for Ukraine. Find it somewhere. They'll find it, come hell or high water. Could this be, by the way, a benefit that maybe will come out of a difficult situation in the House with the ouster of McCarthy? Could this end up hurting the Ukraine First caucus?
Well, Laura, first of all, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. You have the President of the United States issuing a slap in the face of constitutional governance. Congress gets to decide what to do with the American people's money. He enforces the laws. He doesn't write the appropriations bills himself. It's really disgraceful to hear the president talk like that. But part of the reason why he's able to do it, and this goes to your question about the House, Laura, is for too long Congress has failed to provide proper oversight of what is fundamentally a one-party actor in Washington, D.C. That is changing, though. I think a lot of the shakeup in the House has sent a message to people that Congress is not going to give a blank check to Ukraine funding, and they're not going to give a blank check to the Biden administration. That's a good message to send, but we got to keep hammering it, Laura, because the next 3 weeks are really when we win or lose this battle.
Now,
yeah, I'm gonna stop it there, because you just heard the point about the border, and like Trump couldn't get $5 billion for the wall. Well, guess what?
What's that, buddy?
Alejandro Mayorkas? Alejandro! He's saying we need to build the wall now.
Is this after they kind of removed all the stockpile of material had down by the border to build the wall with, that they started auctioning off? And
yeah, I remember that. They were taking stuff down, too, and moving it. And all
so now, hey, we need to build a wall because, hey, that starts the old money chain all over again.
Right.
Crooks, man.
Yes,
but crooks.
Crooks is the word, Eddie. Crooks is absolutely the word. We'll get to Mayorkas and all that in just a second, but first let's hit a break.
All right.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. But this part of the program first, before the break, brought to you by Dylan Rings.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, baby.
Got you on my mind.
Nicely
song,
done.
man.
Maybe we should start a band or something.
Yeah.
I think we could make it work.
All right. I've always wanted to do some lounge singing, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, no, we could do like drunken Dean Martin style.
That's my style right there, buddy.
We would be good. But it is Josh and Leslie Ryder's anniversary today, wedding anniversary today. So congratulations to you guys. And of course, they're at Dillon Rings. They are a full service jewelry shop. But we told you about that before. Let's focus in on the custom design. With custom design, it could be you want to update something.
Right.
Or it could be you want to make it out of whole cloth, like you had a dream. Well, if you can dream it, Josh Ryder can make it a reality. I think he literally, that happens to him as an artist, where he'll have a dream about, that would be a beautiful pendant, or that would be a beautiful necklace, that would be a beautiful ring. And he's constantly coming up with ideas. But if you want to get something that's poignant, maybe to remember a loved one that you lost, a parent or a child in particular, or it could be you want to have some fun, a funky, fresh medallion.
Love that idea.
Yeah, we should get matching ones. We already got the matching bracelets. Mine's still on my nightstand. Is yours still on your wrist? How have you not broken that yet? I guess it is permanent.
Some of us care about our friendship.
And yeah, don't forget about the permanent jewelry there. Beyond the custom design, I care about our friendship. I'm just careless about everything. Don't take it personally.
Not. Okay.
But describe to folks this permanent jewelry, because Josh and Leslie stopped by the studio here and put these on us.
It's actually, and I think they had probably 5 or 6 options. I'll try to put it up to there. They had 5 or 6 options for the chain.
Yeah.
Some really cool options. And I think we went with the silver because we didn't want to be quite so flashy.
Right.
It took, I don't know, for me, maybe a minute. For you, maybe a minute. Maybe for Sky, a minute. But it was great that we all had that matching jewelry. So if we're having some kind of event, especially if we're doing Bunko night, Domino's night, or we're going to watch Auburn lose again this weekend night, it'd be great to have them come over. We can make these bracelets, have them put on. We can all be one.
And we didn't go full bore. We didn't spring for putting charms on these bracelets.
Oh, that's right. You can do the charms and everything.
Yeah, of course.
It's a good idea.
So check out Dillon Rings today. You can always go to DillonRings.com. That's DillonRings.com. Or you can call them at 215-3669. But I really encourage you to stop by 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway there. It's kind of where the old fun zone used to be. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. More News and Views with Alejandro. After this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back,
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with
David Ernest. 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And he has a website at retirewithernest.com. Hey, you're on top of it today, man. I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting. Yes, I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man. Oh my, I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Some weather changes around the way as a cold front approaches the state, but that's tomorrow. Today is much like yesterday. It'll be warm and dry with tolerable humidity, plenty of sunshine, and a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, it will become mostly cloudy and not as cool. Overnight low temperature down to about 68. Tomorrow, high in the middle 80s, risk of a few fairly isolated showers may be widely scattered in the afternoon and evening hours ahead of the cold front. Then, breezy sunshine on Saturday, much cooler with a high in the middle 70s. Jacket weather nights Saturday and Sunday night with lows in the mid to upper 40s and the high on Sunday only about 72. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
To News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house with me.
How you doing, Joey?
You ready to talk about Alejandro? Yeah, I think Alejandro and the Biden administration, they've had a change of heart.
What happened?
Well, here's what they're now saying. This is from justthenews.com. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has opted to waive a litany of laws and regulations to swiftly construct more border wall in a Texas hotspot for illegal crossings.
Let's see. Not too long ago, a matter of weeks ago, they had put some inflatables in the water that was separating the border.
Yeah, the big old buoys there.
And wasn't the Biden administration that said, get that out of there?
Well, and the argument that's made, it's a technical legal argument, is whether it's the buoys or it's the razor wire, those people are technically already in the United States.
I see. So we should encourage them once you get
Yeah,
past
so you
this
have
line.
to... Did you see Elon Musk trip down to the border?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
It was.
That you see, it's very orderly.
Yep.
And it's not a good thing. But
Well,
you're seeing
it's just-
thousands by the day, and there's a process.
How do you, me, two people stop thousands of people coming every day?
Oh, you don't.
Right.
That's why the whole Remain in Mexico policy worked. You get the
Worked for a
Mexican
little while,
government
didn't
to, and I'm sure what was happening is you were still getting cartel elements through.
You're going to get the coyotes.
How much does a border agent get paid?
My guess would be under 80 a year, but then with overtime,
Yeah.
probably 125.
Still,
Not
you
worth
could
it.
bribe a guy who makes 125.
Oh, yes, Joey. Yeah, you can bribe a guy, sure.
Yeah, and they got the money to do it.
Yeah.
And
well, you take my gold or you take my lead.
yeah, and I was about to say, yeah, it's kind of a carrot and stick thing. They'll bribe you, and if you don't go along, they'll kill you.
That's been every person I've ever talked to that came through illegally and dealt with the cartels and the coyotes. That was how they were told. You will take my bullet, or you take my gold, or you'll take my lead. That's just the way they do business.
Now, here's the official notice from the U.S. Federal Registry.
Oh, they put up a sign?
Quote,
No trespassing.
the Secretary of Homeland Security. I don't know why I'm signing kind of like Mike Pence or John Kerry. Yeah, let's do this in the voice of John Kerry. The Secretary of Homeland Security has determined, pursuant to law, that it is necessary to waive certain laws, regulations, and other legal requirements in order to ensure the expeditious construction of barriers and roads in the vicinity of the international land border in Starr County, Texas.
So we got to break the law to make the law? That's kind of what I think I heard there.
So, and if you construct stuff like that there, do you think another spot on the border might become a hot spot?
Yeah, that's why you just take a big D10 dozer and you just start making a trench. And you just drive that whole border. And behind that D10 dozer is a couple of diesel trucks full of gas. And they're letting the gas come out. And then when they get done, you light it on fire. If you make it across, welcome. That's
Citing
how you stop
the
border.
Yeah?
That's how you do it.
Okay. Citing the 1996 Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act, Mayorkas noted that, quote, Congress granted to the Secretary of Homeland Security the authority to waive all legal requirements that I, in my sole discretion, determine necessary to ensure the expeditious construction of barriers and roads.
So we have a dictator now.
No, it's more czar.
Okay.
In total, Mayorkas plans to waive a total of 26 federal laws to expedite construction. The notice further highlighted the 245,000 migrant encounters that occurred over the past year in the Rio Grande Valley sector, which includes Starr County, Texas. Since President Joe Biden took office, law enforcement has encountered more than 7 million people illegally entering the country. Wow.
How much you bet the cartel kind of gave Alejandro a map and said it'd be a lot easier if you could help direct our people to this area right here?
In light of the surge in illegal immigration, Mayorkas found that there exists an, quote, acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the border of the United States in order to prevent unlawful entries into the United States in the project areas. Former President Donald Trump reached the White House in 2016 campaigning heavily on promising to construct a border wall, though the Biden administration terminated plans for continued construction when he took office in 2021. The former president's campaign team took Mayorkas' decision to task and took it as a vindication, telling Fox News that, quote, President Trump is always right. Okay, that's a little much. You ain't Archimedes, Donnie. You're right about a lot of things. He's right about this.
I mean, come on.
But they go on. They said, President Trump is always right. That's why he built close to 500 miles of powerful new wall on the border, and it would have been finished by now. Instead, crooked Joe Biden turned our country into one giant sanctuary for dangerous criminal aliens. Biden currently has 33.6% approval rating on immigration, according to Real Clear Politics. A further 62.8% disapprove of his handling of the issue.
Now, also, you've seen all the, say Chicago, for instance, but also New York, all the locals that live there have come out and said, hey, why are you treating migrants that are here illegally better than me? We've kind of had enough. And we're Democrat, so we might take our vote elsewhere. Maybe this has something to do with it.
Maybe so. 272-9228. This is part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team have a unique understanding of the River Region real estate market. Bo's been doing this for 4+ decades, folks. Over 40 years of working in the River Region real estate market. So he can help you buy a home. He can help you sell that home. And at the Goodson Group, they have a great service for management of that rental property. So if you want to convert a home into a rental investment, or if you're just going to outright buy a rental investment straight up, why not have the Goodson Group manage it for you? It can kind of be a pain in the butt. It becomes a full-time job managing your own properties. Bo and the team have your back, though, in that regard. And then the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed programs, real estate programs here in the state of Alabama. Well, because of the proof of success. So many folks have gone through that course, whether it's private players or they went on to get their real estate license, and they found great success. And it's because Bo is not letting you just sit there. It's a very interactive course, a lot of back and forth, and he's bringing you real-life scenarios from that 40-plus years of experience, the good, the bad, the ugly. Bo Goodson has seen it all, and you can learn those lessons from what he's seen. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to theGoodsonGroup.com or give him a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. Now, coming up, Eddie, it's a video that caught my attention. I believe... one
of the ones I sent you?
No. Those do catch my attention, but in the wrong way. No, I'm talking about, Citizen Free Press put out a headline that says, Brian Kilmeade will be in Montgomery in November.
Yeah, he's coming.
We don't have any more tickets to give away. Brian Kilmeade gets spanked on air.
How much do you have to pay for that?
I don't know. We'll be right back with that after this.
Not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
During Prattville Carpet's fall sale, you can get Mohawk waterproof flooring, regularly priced at $11 per foot installed, right now priced at $7 per foot installed. That's huge fall savings. And get interest-free financing for up to 12 months.
More than just carpet.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back. Let's get right to it before the top of the hour. This is Kilmeade.
Kilmeade.
Kill me. Kill me now.
Ah, that guy.
Seriously, if you wanted to torture me, you just, strap me down in a chair, make me watch Fox and Friends. Ugh.
All right, we'll have that set up for you.
I mean, Morning Joe's execrable too,
That's
but
horrible.
it's awful. But CNN's morning show, ugh. But the whole morning show format on national TV, not my cup of tea anymore. Makes me nauseous.
Is it too pretend for you? What is it?
Yes, it's too fake. Really fake.
Mm-hmm. Oh, welcome. Good morning.
It's
Meanwhile,
a sunshiny morning here in the river region. How's everybody doing today? That's why I appreciate Greg and the guys in the morning.
Me too.
Because they're very real.
They keep it real.
Especially their hate for Buc-ee's.
What's up with that?
What is that?
Okay, I've got an idea. I think perhaps they got a bad taste of Buc-ee's in their mouth. So perhaps we take a trip to Buc-ee's and surprise them one morning.
Okay.
With some tasty Buc-ee's treats, man. They've got a donut counter bigger than this studio.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's. I mean, I've not found anything wrong with the Buc-ee's. I just think they got a bad taste in their mouth. So perhaps we could help them.
No, Buc-ee's is amazing. It's a true institution. There's a reason people get excited about it. And Sam won't shut up about the brisket.
The brisket's good. Plus, I get the little beaver nuggets. They're delicious. Absolutely
Beaver
delicious.
nuggets?
I'll bring you
I haven't
some,
had
Joe.
those.
Oh,
Yeah.
you'll love
What
them.
are they?
They're.
Is it actually beaver? I hear that's oily.
It is a little oily. It's not so good. But these are little, I don't know how to explain it to you, little candied corn pops that have been fried, and sometimes they're seasoned with cinnamon, sometimes
Like
they're just
actual
plain.
corn.
Yeah, but not corn, but like, do you remember the cereal sugar corn pops?
Oh, yeah.
Similar to that, but delicious.
I'd
And
try
you don't
it.
need the milk.
From the description, I don't know, but I would try it.
I will bring you some. If they make it here, you can have some. If not, I'll just tell you how delicious they
Yeah,
were.
I just was taken aback. I know Jay's cool, but like Rich and Greg were bad mouthing Buc-ee's. This is the one of the few things that we've been excited about. Don't crap on that.
It's Buc-ee's.
Anyway, here's Kilmeade with Congressman Tim Burchett or something like that.
Kevin McCarthy overboard. Our next guest is one of those GOP members who voted to oust Kevin McCarthy. Congressman Tim Burchett joins us now. Congressman, you were one of the 8. So Speaker McCarthy had 96% approval rating, but that wasn't good enough for you. Do you feel good about your vote?
Well, I don't know about 96%.
Thank you. Well,
I
they
think
voted
you need
for
to
him.
ask the people. Well, I don't work for the people in Congress. I
Thank
work
you.
for the people of the 2nd District of Tennessee. And overwhelmingly, the folks are tired of the fact that we take in $5 trillion and we spend $7 trillion, that your leadership continues to pass these continuation resolutions. They push us right up against a holiday. Well, guess what? The 45-day one is pushed right up against it. We took off 6 weeks this summer from August to, we usually just take off August, but they decided to take over 2 more weeks. And I feel like that's a failure of leadership. They're the ones who set the schedule. So, he's the speaker.
Right.
Ultimately, the buck stops somewhere. And diverting the attention somewhere else, I think, is just wrong.
So you realize this is the first time in history that this has been done.
All right,
So
I gotta stop it there.
Why, Joey? Why?
F you and your tone. It's one thing to disagree, and a lot of
Right.
good people disagreed on this issue. But that tone.
Kind of lecturing.
You're so proud of yourself, aren't you, Congressman? What a butt munch.
I do like the congressman's answers, though. I don't work for those people in there.
Well,
I
apparently
work for the people of my district.
Apparently it gets better.
You're upset about 6 weeks in the summer. Did you call him during the summer and say, can we get back to work?
I'm also upset at the fact we're $33 trillion in debt
Is that
and
Kevin
the value
McCarthy's
of the dollar.
fault?
In
It
part.
could be. He needs to accept some responsibility.
Didn't he have an 8% cut offered over that in that
8%,
continuing
Joey.
resolution bill?
And the rate of growth. But
Thank
you're
you.
not looking at the
Thank
33
you.
trillion,
I love
and
this
that's
guy.
just- and that's really just peanuts compared to the 33 trillion that we've run up. You know, we continue. If you look at the bills that we did pass, the appropriations, the one that had the cut was the agriculture bill, and it didn't pass because the Republicans sided with Democrats. But yet the defense
And you
bill,
think
which
this
had,
is the
wait
be-
a
and you
minute,
think this
wait
is
a
the best
minute, wait a minute. The defense bill that had 30 billion new dollars in the Pentagon, which has never passed an audit, which has lost at one time 60% of their assets. We reward them with 30 billion more dollars so the war pimps at the Pentagon can spread more war around the globe.
So because he didn't audit the Pentagon and get every appropriation bill done, you're going to make
Look,
history by ousting him to move your agenda forward. Here's what Kevin McCarthy said about you.
I personally like Tim Burchett, and I called Tim Burchett because I read his quote. And Tim Burchett's a friend of mine, which I'm kind of shocked by this. And Tim Burchett, in his quote, said, he's leaning towards no, he's on CNN, but I'm going to pray about it. So I pick up the phone and call him because I didn't think he was already there. I said, Tim, I read your quote. You said you're going to pray about it. I wanted to talk to you about it. And somehow he construes that I'm a Christian. I'm not going to offend somebody. I simply read his quote back. I thought there was still an opening, and I wanted to talk to him about it. He never mentioned anything when we were communicating like that.
So you said part of the reason you voted like that is because you felt he was mocking you, correct? So it's personal.
And that's not accurate, and that's any of that. I asked him about the 6 weeks off. I asked him about why we didn't have a term limits bill up, and continued on down the line, and it was always not his fault. You know, leadership has responsibilities. The buck stops somewhere, and in the House of Representatives, it stops at the Speaker's office. And clearly that's not happening. And clearly, you know, you want to continue to make excuses for him. But the truth is his approval rating around the country was not very high.
Thank you.
And
Well,
I don't represent the people of Congress.
Right, I know.
represent the people in Tennessee.
I got it. What do you think is going to do for the Republican Party and chances of holding on to leadership in the majority when it looks like you're the ringleader of a circus led by Matt Gaetz, who likes to blow things up but not offer any new ideas? Are you happy following Matt Gaetz? Is that your leader?
I'm not following Matt Gaetz. I made my own decision. I didn't ask Matt.
But if Matt
for his
Gaetz didn't
approval.
challenge, you weren't going to challenge.
Do what?
If Matt Gaetz didn't stand up, you weren't going to challenge. You know that.
I believe I would have.
Oh, come on. Please.
You
You were praying about it 1 minute. The next minute, you're going to lead an insurgency?
So you don't think that praying about it's important? Is that what you're saying?
One
'Cause that's-
minute
you know,
you're
that's what
praying
saying
about how
to
you're going to
America.
vote with Matt Gaetz. And the next
didn't
minute
pray
you're going to
about-
lead an insurgency?
Listen, you got a predetermined answer to everything. I
No,
prayed about it.
I have an opinion about what's going on. Do you have
And
an
you're
opinion too?
And you talk over me every time I try to make
All
a
right,
point.
make your point.
The point is that we're $33 trillion in debt. This speaker was woefully lacking in leadership skills. He always placed the blame somewhere else. America is going to be better off with new leadership. And that's the bottom line.
And who is it?
Well, it possibly could be Steve Scalise. It could be Elise Stefanik. It could be Roger Williams out of Texas. It could be Mark Green out of Tennessee.
So they all supported Kevin McCarthy, including the most conservative guy I know, Jim Jordan. Why are you smarter than Jim Jordan and the 210 plus Republicans? Why are you smarter?
I represent my district, brother. And why are you smarter than me? You're condemning me because I stand up on my own, and that's
I'm not
what
condemning
I do.
you. I'm questioning you. You don't like being questioned?
You're just the line of questioning is very negative, and you know that, and I know that. When this is all over with, and we have a new speaker and we're running smooth, let's have this conversation again.
There you go.
And I just want to say this. We're very friendly here to conservatives and Republicans on this show. But I'm so tired of corporate shills who all they do is whip people into shape with their crap TV, and all they do is stump for the Republican Party. There's more to this country and more to this world than just stumping for the Republican Party. And where this pride came from, well, they're doing such a good... They're not.
They're not. That's the part I don't
That's
get.
why it got blown up. And we're so tired of being fed this line of crap.
If we ever want to make change, we got to make change happen. They made change happen.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Slightly more Americans applied for jobless claims last week, but layoffs remain low and the labor market continues to show resiliency amid elevated interest rates imposed by the Federal Reserve. The Labor Department reports applications for unemployment benefits ticked up by 2,000 to 207,000 for the week ending September 30th. In Stockholm, Sweden, the Nobel Prize in Literature has been awarded to Norwegian author John Fosse. Fosse is a master of spare Nordic writing and a sprawling body of work ranging from plays to novels and children's books. He is the author of 40 plays. On Wall Street, the Dow down 22 points, the NASDAQ losing 19. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word FAITH to 989898, and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Some weather changes around the way as a cold front approaches the state, but that's tomorrow. Today is much like yesterday. It'll be warm and dry with tolerable humidity, plenty of sunshine, and a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, it will become mostly cloudy and not as cool. Overnight low temperature down to about 68. Tomorrow, high in the middle 80s, risk of a few fairly isolated showers may be widely scattered in the afternoon and evening hours ahead of the cold front. Then, breezy sunshine on Saturday, much cooler with a high in the middle 70s. Jacket weather nights Saturday and Sunday night with lows in the mid to upper 40s and the high on Sunday only about 72. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. For work at your hunting camp or a job site, you need a utility vehicle you can depend on. The Kubota Sidekick from Capital Tractor, power to haul and top speeds of 40 miles per hour. Kubota and Capital Tractor in Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
1819 News.
I'm Russ Jones filling in for Andrea Tice. A 3-judge panel was preparing to approve new congressional districts for Alabama after ruling that the state lawmakers flouted their finding the state should have a 2nd district where black voters are most of the electorate or close to it. The Alabama Attorney General's office is objecting to all 3 proposals. The plaintiffs who won the case before the U.S. Supreme Court said 2 proposals are acceptable. More Alabama news after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
According to a recently published report from Niche.com, 3 Alabama universities are among the most conservative colleges in the U.S. Samford coming in at 16, University of Alabama at 20th, and Auburn right behind it at 21st. According to the report, the country's most conservative colleges are Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah, Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, and Bob Jones University in Greenville, South Carolina. The top 9 most conservative colleges were all private schools, many religiously affiliated. The Alabama Digital Expansion Authority members were given an update this week on the state's broadband expansion efforts. Some want to implement safeguards to ensure Alabama's more rural communities aren't left behind. One tool that could be used to provide more coverage in rural areas with an adequate share of bandwidth expansion money is offering IPS incentives. I'm Russ Jones.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
It's the 70th Alabama National Fair, October 6th through the 15th. Enjoy the rides, circus, shows, and the food.
Opening day, get in for $1 when you bring a non-perishable food item for the food bank.
And check the fair's outside stage with nightly entertainment, plus all the free shows daily.
Save time. Skip the line, buy in advance from the fair website or the free fair app in your app store.
17 and under must be accompanied by a parent or guardian, 21 years of age or older.
It's the best 10 days of fall.
The Alabama National Fair.
Sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Montgomery, Hyundai Motor Manufacturing Alabama, and Coca-Cola.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Final hour here on a Thursday. How you doing, Eddie?
Pretty good.
Likewise. Pardon my intemperate outburst. It's just me and Brian Kilmeade go way back. Can't stand the guy, but each to their own. If you like him, good for you.
Sure.
Let's go to Steve. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Hey, Joey. How are you guys this afternoon?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good. First off, Joey, get your blood pressure down, okay? It's way off the chart. Now, my comments are these. One, who in his right mind would follow somebody like that little nerd bird, Matt Gaetz, who is under investigation by the Ethics Committee for crap that he's been doing that he shouldn't have been doing? And secondly, why is it the Republicans cannot band together and stand together the way the Democrats do? I don't give a damn who does what to anybody. They are going to support him come hell or high water. Can someone please answer that question?
Because the leadership in the Republican Party around the RNC, when they try to get people to band together, they don't actually want to fight the Democrats. They want to make hay and loud noises out of small marginal changes. And given that we are in a multi-crisis, meta-crisis right now, from debt to all sorts of other things, that's an insult. It's almost worse than doing nothing.
Well, the thing is, if they would put their heads together and say, look, guys, we need to do something. You know, all these damn committees, all these investigations that are going on, but they don't have any authority to do anything about anything if they find anybody guilty of anything.
Right.
You know, all they're doing is wasting taxpayer money and time. I am so sick and tired of hearing and seeing it. I don't know what to do. I consider myself a Republican. I consider myself very conservative. But these people, I'm sorry, but we have elected a bunch of idiots.
Well, that's nothing new.
And until they get somebody in there with some, if you'll excuse my French, balls to run the party and to run or to work as a speaker. Okay, Nancy Pelosi, when she was speaker, as much as I despise her, and I have met that woman personally, as much as I despise her, she ruled with an iron fist. And everybody followed everything that she said and did. The Republicans could do the same thing if they would get off their butts, get their thumbs out of their butts, and start doing their jobs.
Yeah, but it comes back to my first point, that there are a lot of Republicans in leadership, like this whole problem-solving caucus. They just broke up because the Democrats voted out McCarthy. There are a lot of moderates up there that are happy with marginal changes and bringing home bacon back to their district and not dealing with big issues. And it's because of what Matt Gaetz described, but he's not the first to realize it. They are beholden to the donor class. They are. They might not be bad people, but the way the system works for a lot of these folks is they are essentially bought and paid for. And the folks that buy in don't want to change things. They're getting, when problems like this persist, with immigration, the debt, all sorts of stuff, you have to start wondering who benefits from this. I appreciate Gaetz in the sense that he made this threat and then he made good on it. You remember how Bernie Sanders was like, I'm going to bring a War Powers Act resolution against the war in Yemen. And then all of a sudden, at the last second, I back down. Yeah. I like a guy that actually says, makes good on his threats. And I thought Gaetz, throughout this, was making a lot of good points about the corruption in D.C. To the larger point about the fecklessness of the Republican Party, you and I completely agree. I don't personally consider myself a Republican. I guess that's most of my friends. That's who I usually vote for. But I'm not a party guy by any means. And I just find sometimes the way they try to regiment the Republican Party, I'm tired of it. These are the same folks that fought Ronald Reagan. And what they do is once Reagan, somebody like a Reagan or a Trump beats them, they act like, oh, we're friends with them. We're friends with them. But they're sitting there just sharpening the knives for their moment in the sun. And that's the problem here.
You know, just like the Never Trumpers. Right. You know, that bunch, I'm sorry, every one of them need to be shot.
I don't know about that, but...
Well, I do.
No, you lower your blood pressure.
No, I got my blood pressure way under control. Trust me.
Well, I appreciate it, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Have a great day, bud.
Call, guys. See ya.
Appreciate you.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They can help you men out with, if you're noticing a lack of energy, lack of motivation, just no drive. And I'm not just talking
focus.
Physically. Yeah, it's like a mental focus issue. You
like
feel
a mental
listless is maybe the word.
Yep.
And also maybe you're never in the mood. And your wife's hot.
Yeah.
It could be you got low T.
It very well could be, Joey.
Now, this happens as you get older. 50s, 60s come around. You're going to produce less testosterone. But it's happening to a lot of younger men, too.
Sure is.
So if you're feeling these symptoms, go by Montgomery Men's Health. you can, of course, make an appointment by calling them at 440-3663 or go to
Right.
MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Once you stop by, it's only $99. It's a quick blood draw and test, and they can give you your testosterone score. And if you do, in fact, have low T, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change your life. Most men after these treatments experience higher energy, better gains in the gym,
Brother.
better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns. You may even notice an increased libido.
Dude, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. So again, that number for Montgomery Men's Health. They're reinventing men's health care here in the River Region. Give them a call, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com and be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. Now, there are a few odds and ends we haven't gotten to over the weeks. And one that did catch my attention is, this particular story that's kind of a intersectional car crash, how they've added the T to the LGB.
Oh, okay.
And now people are, it's shocking, taking advantage of these new standards. And maybe that's what people need to do. They want to explode the standards of like basic sense and basic categories. And I think it's really a play. If you destroy basic categories and you make it a subjective decision of who's actually legitimately trans, that's just a recipe for tyranny. Like, it ends up being because I said so and I can get away with it. So I think the only way you fight back is you go, well, because I said so and I can get away with it. So get a load of this story. The annual Grace Hopper celebration isn't technically supposed to be a job fair. It's supposed to be a conference celebrating nerdy girls in the tech industry.
Oh, good for them.
However, corporate recruiters looking to spruce up their ESG scores are usually in high attendance. Considering over 265,000 tech employees have been laid off over the last 2 years, access to those recruiters at Grace Hopper is a hot commodity. And this year, they opened the conference to the gender spectrum. So here's the deal. They said that it's the world's largest gathering of women and non-binary technologists. They added the non-binary this year.
Okay.
So what's happening? Well, men are declaring themselves to be non-binary tech workers.
Gets them a good job real easy, right?
So throw on some blush, call yourself non-binary, and go to Grace Hopper, apparently. That's how you fix this problem if you're out of work and you're in the technology space. And apparently the women at the event, the actual women, were pretty ticked off about it.
I bet they were, and they had every right to be.
I'm seeing like Autumn said it's blank some men are suddenly fake identifying with she, her pronouns to go to Grace Hopper because they can't find jobs otherwise. And the organizers not happy about this. The CIO went so far as to attack these fellas' gender identity. What a bigot! See, and this is what I mean. That they can see like, well, you're not being a legitimate person on the. Okay.
Why? Because wearing pants?
All right.
I got a beard?
Yeah.
What's?
Well, what's?
I thought it's how I feel.
I'm a woman who has a penis.
Right. I thought
Get
that's
with
how
the
it goes.
time.
I thought that's how it goes nowadays.
Get with the times. It was so bad that the convention that the organizer CIO spoke out about it. Okay, we gotta play this here. 272-9228. Let me bring this up, see if it'll play. This is apparently the guy at the convention.
Okay.
He said.
You're on the X?
Yeah, it's on the X here.
This is supposed to be a joyous event that centers around you. Yesterday, it became clear that there are a far greater number of cisgender men attending than we had anticipated.
This is supposed to be a joyous occasion about you. Yesterday it came to our attention there are a far greater number of cisgender men.
I was wondering what he said. Okay, cisgender men.
Yeah, well, it's like, but I identify as a woman, man. Who are you calling cisgender? I love
with the times.
You know, Norm Macdonald had a great line on that. Somebody asked him, what does cisgender even mean? He goes, oh, that's just a way to marginalize a normal person.
Simply put, some of you lied about your gender identity when you registered. And as evidence by the stacks and stacks of resumes you were passing out, you did so because you thought that you could come here and take space to try to get a job.
Mm-hmm. Goodness gracious. No, you got to live with the consequences of your own ideology. Excuse me, pardon me, guys. That's That's the way this works. If you're going to play these games, people are going to play back. So the advisory president didn't go quite so far, but she did say she wanted to fight. She wanted to support non-binary technologists, not cisgender men pretending to be non-binary just so they could get a job. It's kind of remarkable to see these, I guess the term is intersectional car crashes. 272-9228. What was that?
Traffic.
Traffic?
Traffic.
What's going on?
85.
Oh, yeah. Still going on?
85-65 interchange, still messed up, yeah.
Goodness gracious. Well, how about this, Eddie? Let's hit a break.
Let's hit it.
More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Enjoy an evening of wine on the water at the 13th Annual Riverwalk Wine Festival, Friday, October 13th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Union Station Train Shed. This event includes a variety of wine tastings, food vendors, and live music by the Park Band and Funk Nation. Must be 21 or over to purchase a ticket. Tickets available online at mgmcityevents.com or montgomeryal.gov. Proceeds will go to Second Chance Foundation, sponsored by Publix, Vintage Year, and the City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. It's 272-9228. Now, another odd and end that caught my attention. This is a story out of, I believe, Israel, in the Holy Land.
Okay.
Archaeologists unearth 5th century stone fragment of Psalm 86 in the Judean desert. Wow.
That's interesting.
A rare inscription paraphrasing part of Psalm 86 in Greek, used in the New Testament, has been unearthed by a team of Hebrew University archaeologists working at the Hykanian?
We'll go with that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a Second Temple era structure situated atop a forbidding hilltop in the Judean desert, about 17 kilometers southeast of Jerusalem. The remains of this fortress are among the most desolate and far-flung that you can picture. The archaeologists, as part of their recent dig, excavated a deep collapsed layer of building stones in one corner of the site. There they discovered an elongated hall lined with piers, which they speculated was part of the monastery of the facility from centuries before. On the floor of this dig, the historians found a sizable building stone bearing lines of text painted in red. Expert translation revealed that it was a quote from Psalm 86, albeit paraphrased to reflect the New Testament. One archaeologist called the discovery truly exceptional for their clarity and provenance. Another inscription, meanwhile, was recently discovered nearby and is currently undergoing analysis. They keep finding more and more, too, which is truly remarkable. So you gotta love that, stuff that you didn't know that you took on faith, that you're finding more and more of these traditions stretching back for a long, long time. Now, again, just going through some odds and ends here. And one theory that's come to my mind is, how are we dealing with old age?
Not too good.
No, not too good at all. In particular...
I'm talking about coming to grips with it.
Oh, yeah. No, in particular, living arrangements are very expensive.
Yes,
like
they
assisted living and all these stuff. It's very, very expensive.
It's designed to break you before you die.
Yeah, nursing home rates throughout the world, not just this country, are sky high. And, well, in Australia, that's also the case. Get a load of this story. Two grandparents, decided that instead of retiring to a retirement home, they'd retire on a cruise.
That's happening a lot, Joey. Very popular.
51 back-to-back cruises in a row, and counting, to be exact. That's amazing.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, do that. I'd rather be on a cruise than an old folks home.
Right.
And I bet I get a little bit better service on the cruise. And I bet the view, a little bit better on the cruise.
Now, it looks like a retirement home entry fee in Australia can cost up to $500,000, not including monthly fees after that.
Right.
Wow. A 14-day cruise varies, but $2,000 to $3,000 for a couple is in the ballpark. Add those all up to make a year, and you've got, say, $50,000, $65,000 per year to stay on the ship. Meals, drinks, cleanup included. So, yeah, it's plain to see that these two made the right choice.
All-inclusive? Come on, man.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Then look at these folks.
They look like they're enjoying it.
Yeah, let's pull this up for people here on the live stream. Again, Joey Clark live on YouTube. That's Joey Clark live on YouTube. Let's watch this story together.
Now, most of us are lucky enough to spend a couple of weeks a year on holiday, but the couple you're about to meet decided that wasn't enough. Great-grandparents Jess and Marty love cruises so much, they decided to stay on board for, get this, 2 years. And they say it's cheaper than a nursing home.
Oh, look at this.
We on board longer than anybody else.
We welcome the different captains on board,
They're the couple who cruise more than the captains.
People might think you're crazy.
They may do, but it's not about them, it's about me, isn't it?
How about a cold beer?
Jess and Marty Anson have clocked up 15 months on the high seas.
Oh, that's nice and cold.
455 days. Joined on the 16th of June last year.
Yep, you heard that correctly. 455 days on board the Coral Princess. On day one last year, the couple sailed off from their home port of Brisbane.
You're standing in front of the Coral Princess.
Speaking to the Today Show ahead of their epic journey.
Talk to me about how you came up with this crazy idea.
Well,
Well, it's more to do with the 2 years without cruising, I suppose, and catching up on the cruises we've missed.
The couple has been cruising for decades, but jumped at the chance to hit the water again post-COVID.
And eventually I said to my agent, look, I said, whatever comes, just book it. And that's how it got to be such a long cruise.
51 back-to-back cruises, it's easy to say the great-grandparents simply love cruising, with all their meals taken care of and room cleaned daily, a cheaper alternative, they say, than being in a retirement home.
It's a lifestyle. Where else can you go? You go for dinner, you go to a show, you go dancing. Through the day you have all these activities, and I love the hula dancing and the ballroom dancing.
So this was the perfect answer, really. Go cruising, see the world and meet these people and make lifelong friends, and it's a wonderful life.
Not a bad idea.
It's a really good idea
whatsoever, and cute couple. You can tell the couples that have been around for a while and together for a while.
Oh, yeah.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Bath Innovations of Alabama. And there at Bath Innovations of Alabama, Brad McDowell and his team, well, they're ready to help you. Whether you're looking to do a full remodel, and they've got some amazing new tech, that ABS acrylic shower system with those high-strength polymer panels, similar to what you find on like a car bumper or maybe a football helmet even, and what it can be shaped into is pretty much anything.
Anything you want, really.
But once it's set, it's very durable, easy to clean, and what they can do is emboss a 4K image onto that material, so you can have the look of any stone you want, from marble to granite to ceramic tile to brick even. And they have laser etching, so you get any tile pattern you want.
Right.
Pretty amazing. Also at Bath Innovations, they have aging in place solutions for seniors and for those with disabilities and accessibility concerns. It could be like safety bar railings, anti-slip mats. Could be a more ergonomic like fixture, so it's easier to clean. And again, it doesn't have to be a full remodel. It could be you just want to help get rid of this discolored sink or a new faucet, or you, again, want a new shower head. That rain shower head is pretty amazing.
Really nice.
But we can't cover it all here in just a minute or so on the radio. What you need to do, folks, is go to bathinnovations.com. That's bathinnovations.com. Start to mix and match, and you'll realize, man, the possibilities are endless. Again, it fits any budget. They can work with you there at Bath Innovations of Alabama. So after you go to bathinnovations.com, stop by 2331 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. Say hi to Brad McDowell and the team. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program.
Not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hello, this is Eddie Bader with eXp Realty, and I want to tell you about advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting. I made the decision to advertise with Blue Water about 2 years ago and have seen the results daily. The Blue Water team has truly become family to me and always ready to help.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Big weather changes ahead as a cold front approaches the state of Alabama. But for tonight, I think we're dry, mostly cloudy. Overnight low temperature falls to the upper 60s. Then for tomorrow, high temperature in the middle 80s, risk of some showers, fairly isolated, widely scattered by the afternoon and evening hours as the front approaches the state. Then breezy sunshine, much cooler Saturday, high in the mid-70s. Jacket weather nights both Saturday and Sunday night with lows in the mid to upper 40s and Sunday's high 72. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
In the house.
It's interesting. Hunter Biden is asking the judge in his case to dismiss the gun charges.
But of course.
And an FBI agent accused of lying about censoring Hunter Biden laptop fails to appear before Jim Jordan for a scheduled testimony.
Another shocking allegation that maybe the guy's kind of in on the system there, Joey. Maybe a Biden fan, I guess you'd say. He did what he was supposed to do, except he didn't show up to court.
Right. Well, and it looks like I think Jim Jordan would be the best speaker.
I like Jim Jordan.
Especially for conservatives out there, and I think Jim Jordan can work with the so-called moderates there in the party. I would like Jim Jordan. I think he'd be a good spokesman for the party.
Matt Gaetz endorsed him just a few minutes ago, too. Said he would like him as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Matt Gaetz isn't going to be the kingmaker, but he's going to have some say in this.
Oh, I think everybody's going to run to him. Are you going to evict this guy? Are you going to evict this guy?
Byron Donalds has also been mentioned, the fairly new congressman from Florida.
Okay.
I like him a lot. And then, of course, Steve Scalise, who's next in line.
Yeah.
Or Lee Stefanik, who's up there in leadership already. They probably are within striking distance. Sadly, folks, a lot of this comes down to your ability to raise and hand out money.
That's what it all comes down to.
That's pretty much how it works.
I hate it.
I think
I really wish the American people knew how this system really does work. And I think most of us would be very surprised.
And I believe Steve Scalise today did announce he is running
he did?
speaker. So
excellent.
We'll see where that goes. And it might be a slight improvement. I am not certain. Now, you've been hearing on the 1819 news reports each hour, folks, but you're starting to see that there's a report, and it's something I think I already knew, but when it comes to the students in Alabama, especially at the college level, apparently Samford, the University of Alabama, and Auburn have some of the most conservative students in America.
That doesn't surprise me.
This is according to a report from Niche. 3 Alabama universities are among the most conservative in the United States. The report ranks colleges and universities based on responses to questions asked of students about their political preferences and their opinions about the political leanings of other students. Samford University, the University of Alabama, and Auburn
all made it to the top 25. Samford coming in at 16th, Alabama at 20th, and Auburn right behind at 21st. According to the report, the country's most conservative colleges are Brigham Young University, not surprising.
Not surprised.
Liberty University, Bob Jones.
Bob Jones.
The top 9 most conservative colleges were all private schools, many religiously affiliated. But it's good to know even our state universities here still pretty conservative.
I noticed that when we moved from here to Turkey, but really when I was older, we moved from here to Alaska. We moved right out of the Bible Belt into what I didn't know heathens lived like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't either, but no, I always got that sense going to Auburn that it's a fairly conservative place. I mean, still very liberal professors there, but
sure.
The larger culture around the place still was somewhat conservative. And given how conservative it is, it's amazing to see there still are all these DEI offices or sustainable goal, sustainable development offices.
Just don't understand how that fits in.
Right.
If you're a true conservative in a conservative university, I don't understand how it gets in there. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we actually are seeing kids wake up. The younger generation is waking up to the games that are being played.
I think you're right, Joey, and I'm glad.
And speaking of student at the university level, students up there at the college level, the student loan bailout that Biden is trying to push.
The new one?
Yeah. And we'll come up with creative ways of sharing it, right, Joe? Well, the real cost of Biden's $127 billion student loan giveaway. The Biden administration says its latest student loan forgiveness means the administration has discharged some $127 billion in federal student loans. But some conservatives are saying the true price tag is much higher. On Wednesday, the Department of Education announced the latest student loan forgiveness effort, a $9 billion cancellation for 125,000 borrowers through the department's Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program and the Income-Driven Repayment Program. The Biden-Harris administration's laser-like focus on reducing red tape, addressing past administrative failures, and putting borrowers first have now resulted in a historic $127 billion in debt relief approved for nearly 3.6 million borrowers. That's from the Education Secretary for Biden. The number includes several waves of forgiveness, but the actual price tag of this program could be much higher. The American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank, places the cost at more than $316 billion.
More like it.
$316 billion. Wow.
At the end of the day, somebody owns that debt. You're not wiping anything clean. Someone's going to get paid or they're going to get screwed. So at the end of the day, you own a debt that you took out with a person. Now, granted, for whatever reason, you don't feel like you got your money's worth and all that. Sorry about your luck. However, you've got a contract, a written contract that should be enforceable.
Right. And there should be ways of, you get creative ways, but just outright forgiveness seems like.
Right.
What about all the folks who saved or didn't go to college?
Right.
These things. Let's go to Ritz. Hey, Ritz. Long time no talk to.
Hey, Joey. How are y'all doing?
Doing all right.
Hey, that's great. Hey, I just wanted to suggest to y'all that a lot of these programs that any agency has are there solely to get grant money. That's the carrot, and they probably don't want to have a lot of these programs. But in order to get that free money, they do what's the requisite of them.
That makes sense.
But
they need to be careful, though.
Yeah, sometimes just do
get a fifth
money.
column in there, and
Yeah.
I know it, but that's how they edge their way into every aspect of our life. They stick these carrots out there and work their way into our schools and libraries, and and so here we are paying the price for it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a problem across the board. It's middle management. It's this managerial class. You see them in the administrative state. You see them in corporate America. You see them in college and universities. It's crazy how these folks ended up with so much power.
Oh yeah. Well, just remember, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil.
Amen.
Well, I appreciate the call,
gentlemen.
Ritz.
Thank you, Ritz.
All right. Good talking to you.
You too, brother.
272-9228. Well, and some of them, it's not just the money. If you want to make big money, be a CEO or a CFO. But if you're looking for power, you might go with HR.
Sure.
There are a lot of folks making that choice.
Not everybody in HR makes a lot of money. Wish she did.
Sorry.
Some
Dave.
people are truly heroes. They do it for the love of people, Joey.
Oh, for the love of people.
Yeah.
That's
what I keep telling myself. That's why she
solid
does it.
motivation there. Just loving everybody. Everybody love everybody. Isn't that a good slogan?
It'd be better than what we're doing now.
272-9228. If you haven't heard, we've got a congressional map, folks.
Yeah.
So that's great, isn't it?
So when do people have to start announcing? And I mean, is it in stone? This is it. Like it or not, we got to accept it. Is that where we're at with that? No.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, there's going to be one final appeal to the Supreme Court, and we'll see what they do.
I see.
But
So,
we're running out of time.
Yeah, so we're taking this.
Right. There are a lot of people who are ready to declare and
Okay.
just waiting on the lines to be drawn.
I got you. Any surprises that you think are going to drop down?
I
there?
don't know. Nothing I've heard. But we'll see. Election season is right
Goes
around the
nuts,
corner
man.
for local elections,
Yeah.
folks. Here, let's hit a quick break. We'll be right back after this, hopefully with Ray Bowles, Prattville Carpet.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Exit Realty is growing. Exit Realty focuses on everything it takes to make a real estate office successful and provides opportunity to brokers and agents unlike any other real estate brand.
Training, technology, an opportunity to earn an exceptional income and even retire and leave a legacy and benefits for your family. Interested in a great real estate career? Text BAMA to 85377 to learn more. That's BAMA to 85377.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Now, as promised, let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet here. Hey, Ray, how you doing today?
How you doing, Ray?
I can't complain none. I mean, I can't complain at all. I had another grandbaby yesterday.
Oh, congratulations, Ray.
Awesome.
Thank you. But here's the deal. Morgan's so weird. I love her. I know I raised her, and I did a crap job of it. She doesn't want to tell anybody the name of the baby or the sex of the baby until he was born 2 days too early, so he's in the NICU for another 2 or 3 days.
Right.
And she's like, well, I really have this whole plan. I want to do social media, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So don't tell anybody the name or the sex of the baby. I'm like, are you kidding me? You expect me to get on the radio tomorrow and keep my mouth shut? Have you lost your ever loving mind? Do you know me?
Well, you're doing all right
Killing
so
me.
far.
She is absolutely killing me. So, but no, baby's in good health. Mama's in good health.
Excellent.
They're just doing the protocols, making sure that it'll be nice and strong whenever. See what I mean? I can't do it, guys.
You're trying,
I'll
Ray.
never
Just
make
keep
it.
trying, brother.
I'll never make it. No. But yeah. So, but hey, listen. If you need flooring that's baby proof,
Yeah.
you need to call us 285-8117. We've got flooring that'll take care of babies, puppies, kittens. That'll handle anything you can throw at it. But it takes a phone call. 285-8117.
And when you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles here on the program. And congratulations again, Ray.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great day.
You too, brother man.
272-9228. We got time for Kilroy. Hey,
Hey,
Kilroy.
Hey, how are you today, fellas?
All
Doing
right.
all right.
I just wanted to mention about, I'm kind of surprised the University of Alabama made it so high on the conservative list. Joey, I was up there around the same time you were at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised Democrat. I've gotten over that. Well, while I was there, I wanted to make a difference, and I quickly joined SDS, Students for Democratic Society.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't take me long to realize that these were not Democrats; these were just outright communists.
Right.
Very anti-Israel. One of them, just like the Beatles song, had a picture of Mao over her bed. Don't ask me how I know. But it wasn't just a group of students. I mean, I was in the political science department, as you were. There was faculty, there were teachers, and they weren't shy about it. And there was a lot more than I really expected in Alabama.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of very liberal professors at Auburn. There's one that was a polka dot sock progressive feminist that did a lot of those gender and politics classes. I actually enjoy those classes because I like arguing. But yeah, there are plenty of folks like that. Plenty of foreign policy kind of establishment people teaching, classes about the EU and geopolitics. I ran into a lot of them, but the student body was never seen all that radical to me.
I just maybe it was just because I was part of the wrong crowd, but it was kind of the first stepping stone into opening my eyes, and I just to this day just sort of have a bad taste about it because it seemed to be more rampant than you'd expect. But maybe it's gotten better. We've been out of there for a while now, so.
Well, I'm glad we're heading in the right direction, but you never know. You never know which way the young are going to go.
That's right. Well, anyway, enjoy the show. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Kilroy.
Hey, when you're at Auburn, did you ever run into any of those professorettes that, kind of the hot older professors that are ladies that want to give you a little tutor?
No, there was one that was a teaching assistant who was really attractive, and she liked my writing. She did English classes, but she was married. So I left that alone.
Well, good guy. Good guy you were, Joey.
I mean, the way I flirted with her was almost as shameless as the way she flirted with me. Let's go to Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you for taking my call. This whole idea of Joey Clark as a civil servant, I was thinking about that. And, there's pros and cons to it. But, Joey, have you ever seen that movie, Larry the Cable Guy, when he was a food inspector?
Yeah, called Food Inspector.
Yeah, that's right, man.
I haven't seen it.
Good movie.
Okay.
A comedy feel-good classic. But that's just, when I just pictured you, helping out the city and running around town, knowing where the best gas station hot dogs are found. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I came up with on the fly.
Well, I have risked a gas station hot dog before.
It's a risk.
It is a risk.
It is.
Yeah, I have to admit it. I get one once in a while.
Especially if it's got a lot of snap in it. It's been there a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm looking forward to the fair coming up.
Me too, Sammy.
And
you gonna come out and see us?
And I believe Mark Cumby has been asking on the live stream, Sam, what time are y'all going to be there? I believe we're going to be on Saturday the 14th from noon to 2.
Noon to 2.
From noon to 2. All right.
Excellent.
I'll do my best. I'm looking at being in Montgomery this whole weekend, so yeah.
Come by and see us. It was good hanging out with you last year.
And I heard that about the Wine Fest coming up. Can't go wrong with the Wine Fest. So, anyways. Yeah, good stuff ahead. That's all I got, guys. I just wanted to say hey.
All right, Shammy.
Appreciate you, Sam.
Later, Shammy.
Well, I guess Friday. Tomorrow is Friday, right?
Oh, dude, it is, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. What a week it's been.
It has been a heck of a week.
Exciting news cycle and all, but we're going to try to have some fun. Hopefully we'll have Jonathan Strange in here. I'm not sure if Brian Dawson
I'd love to see Brian. I haven't seen him in a while.
Has time, but I'd love to see him as well. And, of course, we sometimes try to have fun on Friday.
We do.
Sometimes we get into these heady arguments
over
religion and faith and politics and all these sort of technology.
That's Monday through Thursday stuff. Friday, let's just.
No, but one thing I want to bring up with Jonathan Strange, we could just mention it here. We'll showcase it more tomorrow if he's here. I showed you this morning that Lex Friedman. Showcase with Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
And what they were doing is Lex Friedman is an interviewer, very popular on YouTube. I find his show fascinating. I like Lex a lot
because he's just. I don't mean to
he's
sound
a robot,
funny, but he right. I mean,
that's why he asks everybody what is love.
He's trying to the ways of the world sometimes.
He's trying to become more and more human, so he has every guess what is love. Crazy. It's pretty funny actually. Like he'll do a whole conversation about the latest in astrophysics, and then all of a sudden he's like, "So, what is love?"
There was one the other night where he was trying to get someone to explain why people cheat. He couldn't. He's like, "I don't understand that."
Right, to the latest in AI,
Yeah.
to historians he has on Lex's show is fantastic if you like that sort of nerd talk.
It is good nerd talk.
But this particular interview he did with Zuckerberg, it was the third time they had talked on his show, but it looked like, when you first look at it, it's like they look like they're in the same room together.
Yeah, they
They're
really did.
actually
Inches from
in
each other.
the metaverse. Now, the technology's not quite there. They both had to sit for hours and hours and hours to have their face scanned so that the program could operate. But they're wearing these, virtual reality goggles and headsets in completely different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of miles away from one another. And they were freaking out, or Lex was freaking out about how realistic it was. It is almost damn near photo real, like you're
telling you,
in
it
the
really
room, like Eddie and I sitting across from each other right
Right.
now. It felt like that. And looking at it, it's pretty remarkable tech.
The one thing that I noticed was, even though, it was just an anime or pretty much a vision of each other, Zuckerberg still looked like an alien.
Oh, yeah.
He just... Lex
They
looks
joke
normal,
about that.
But
It's
he
like we
really looks...
They're working on the program to have a lot of emotion. We picked the two most monotone guys to talk to each other on this thing. But it just look it up. Mark Zuckerberg,
It's
Lex
really good.
Friedman. It is pretty remarkable. It's scary. It's a little unnerving.
That's going to be our future, though, Joey.
Right.
One day you'll be at a bar, I'll be at a bar at two separate ends of the world.
Right.
But we can put that on and be right next to each other.
Well, that does it for us today. Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Vidal. Well, he's next.